I'm watching. I don't start immediately. All right, here we are. What is up, everybody? Welcome back once again to Hot Toys Hotline Live, episode 31. I can't believe nearing the end of the year, we're at episode 31. 31 times we've been here, and 31 times a lot of you guys have been here, so I really appreciate it. We've had a very exciting week, guys. I guess that's a sign of a good stream, is that little notification going off right in the beginning. But we've had a great week for releases and announcements, guys, and some teases as well. Of course, we're going to get into that. But as always, I want to say what's up to everybody on the panel. We have Ryan from Mr. Mom Collectibles. As always, Ryan, thanks for being here. We have CMB, as always, joining us. We love having CMB here, and he keeps on coming back, so we appreciate him. And, of course, we also have Lane in the house. Lane's been the talk of the town this past week. If you guys haven't seen the video of Lane's buddies visiting him over at his house and him kind of giving him some giveaway prizes and stuff.
Watch that,
yeah, you got to check it out. Lane was the talk of the town this week. So if you haven't already, check that video out so you can get a secret glimpse into the Lane dome.
Well, for like less than
Lane's
2 months
back cave,
right? It's Lane exactly.
And if it's going to be moving, so you get an inside look for a little while.
There you go. But guys, as you can see, I've made a lot of progress this week on my collection room. Yeah. I'm sure you guys are looking at my background and saying like, oh, that looks a lot different. Yes, it is a lot different. Everything's a lot different. My microphone's on the other side. So if you guys hated it on the other side, I'm sure you're really happy. I've got some new setups behind me, as you can see, and I'm slowly working towards getting everything together.
And we still get a first row view of Bud Williams there.
Yeah, you get a first row view of me. Well, especially, that's the most important thing. You get a first row view of me, right?
We want, you're the best release Asmus has put out in the last 3 years.
Oh well, so why I can't be a Hot Toys figure? I got to be Asmus. Like why are you stooping me down? I should be in art to you, Lane. That's what I should be at.
No. Because see, Hot Toys quality is like LeBron James or Scarlett Johansson. That's Hot Toys.
And you wouldn't put me up there. You know what, Lane?
Yeah,
I'll let it slide this time. Whatever. We're going to say what's up to some people in the chat.
Hey, I'm Starry, so you're still looking better.
Well, hey, don't put yourself there, Lane. That's messed up. You're not Star Ace, Lane. I would say you're at least so Toys. We'll give you so Toys.
Well,
you're not quite there, but you're almost there.
Hey, you know what? So Toys, I am not a person who collects, I don't know why I'm mentally blanking on the word right now.
Third-party stuff?
Yeah,
not official stuff.
I don't really buy that stuff. But that So Toys, those guys have done absolutely with a song. Thanks, Bat the Boy. But those guys really, as a maker, like I would not, or maybe you guys would be having seen some of those like the Cajun car dealer. They're doing great work for sure, like the Loki and stuff. Because I mean, the Hot Toys Loki classic was definitely
the Kingpin though, which is fantastic.
Yeah, the Kingpin. Yeah. A lot of the recent stuff, and we're going to see the Witcher soon. So a lot of their stuff looks really good.
And so they are a company, or at least there are guys who work for them who I would not be surprised are making in some form or fashion, whether it's So Toys or for other companies down the road here. Like making stuff and everything down the road, because those sculptors and artists and I can't comment on the manufacturing, but those guys did really they really have do a very good job for the most part. They're not going to be perfect because they don't have the budget of.
But hey, they pump the stuff out. They're doing what people want.
We're going to talk about some of the figures we were looking at, kind of going
right. So let's say what's up to some people in the chat. Some guy you were in here, first one in here, you beat Insane One. I hope Insane One squeezes in here today, but you beat Insane One for once. So I'm gonna give you a golf clap for that one. Congratulations on beating Insane One. It's a hard feat to do because he's always first. If you guys don't know this, he's always first. Yeah, exactly. Good evening to you, Aunt P. Aunt P was in here super early as well. I hope you're doing well, Aunt P. My boy Ian, what's up? I hope you're doing well. Payden23. Payden let me know on Facebook earlier he was going to be hopping in with us. So good to see you, Payden. Rob, good to see you as always. Hope you're doing well. I love the vintage Boba Fett on your profile picture. That is actually one of my favorite figures. You can't really see them, but I have them right about here. But I love that figure. That figure is absolutely beautiful.
If he's your favorite, then you can send me that animated Boba one, and you would still have
Lane. This is Lane. That figure's not leaving my clutches, and you got to pry it from my cold dead body. So unless you plan on killing me, Lane, it's gonna stay with me. That's one of the ones I'm gonna be keeping for a while. That and
You'll
Darkseid
send
Anakin.
it when you send us all swoop bikes.
Right, when we get our swoop bikes, then I'll consider it, Lane. Oh, look at first of all, as always, my favorite username, 16 Star Wars
nice.
Pimpazoid. Just picked up Obi-Wan Kenobi from A New Hope. That's an excellent figure, dude. Congratulations on that. I think for Star Wars fans, especially if you're a fan of the original trilogy, yeah, that's a big one. That's one that a lot of people have on their list. I was lucky enough to get 2 of them for a really good price not long ago, and I actually gave a good deal to one of my close friends that lives near me. So I'm really excited to have that one in my collection. I've had it for a while now, but at the time, it was still selling for a lot of money because I was late on a lot of the original trilogy stuff, guys, believe it or not. I really focused on the prequel stuff first, and then I dove into the large variety of original trilogy stuff a couple years ago. So Thick Bantha Boy here as always. Yes, I did get my email, and we did talk about it briefly last week, but yes, guys, Mark 1 is coming early.
Just got mine.
So Sideshow just sent out emails letting us know that the payment plans will be shifting to reflect the new date. So check your email if you have the Mark 1 on pre-order. And the other one I got was for what was the other figure that I said I got it for? Spider-Man battling version.
Yeah, but they showed the
movie promo.
Yeah, they showed the unboxing
battling version. Yep. And we're going to talk about that. And we're going to take a look at the video from Sideshow on that figure as well. They gave us a first look on that. Leighton, what's up, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Let's see ya Dream. Good to see ya. Kaiju Daddy says, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Kaiju. Good evening for us here in the U.S. Yes, Matt, good to see you, my friend. There is a lot to talk about this week, and 2 figures especially that are very big that we're going to talk about. And we're going to get right into it. Don't worry. Once we say what's up to everybody, I know you guys want to talk about it, and we're going to get right into it. Boba Fettuccine, good to see you, my friend. Yes, it is almost the weekend. I think we're all really excited for that. Lane was telling us earlier that he was able to take a lot of PTO, so it's going to be the weekend for Lane for a bit going into the new year. So we're very jealous. We're very jealous.
Wouldn't you say though? Probably now shouldn't it be more for the Mark 1? It's coming on time rather than early, since it was announced over a year and a half ago, which is usually the average rough time.
If we're just strictly talking off of Sideshow dates, it's early for their projected Sideshow date.
Well, no, I mean, usually they put a figure out in a year and a half to a year, and they put that one out originally from when they were projecting it was going to come out.
Right. So, I mean, they did shift the dates early.
Yeah.
I bet if we look at the Hot Toys website, it's probably on time. I know you are, Lane. I know you are. Get it out of the way.
It's on time, guys. It's coming on time.
There you go.
It's not Wonder Woman 84.
Yes, guys. Welcome, everybody. If you haven't, hit that like button already. If you're not subscribed and you're here with us, subscribe to the channel. Because
Wonder Woman 84 probably got the axe just like Wonder Woman 3.
Please don't say that. I'm waiting for that. Please don't say that.
What's up, HD? I hope you're doing well.
I put it out into the ether.
Dude, that's like literally the last Gal Gadot
ever
Wonder Woman hot toy we might ever get.
I'll keep it sealed and sell to anybody who wants it.
Boba Fettuccine, good to see you. And yes, So-So is definitely coming into their own. I've been really impressed. I haven't had anything in hand from them yet, but I will be getting The Witcher once that gets announced and put up for pre-order. But I've heard a lot of good things.
That rogue looks really good too.
Single songwriter, good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. I hope the Force is with me. I'd like to think that it is. Blackbird, what's up? Don Prime, good to see you, Don Prime. Always good to see you. Violet, always good to see you as well. I hope you all are doing well. Guys, now that we've said hi to all of our friends here in the chat, obviously more will be joining us in a little bit. We're going to get right into it, guys. We're going to get right into it. This, I'm going to tell you right now, right off the bat, this is no hype, all seriousness. Padme and Anakin, these are announcements of the year for me. Obviously, RoboCop is another one that's up there as well, but you guys know how much I love Star Wars, and you know how much the character Anakin means to me. Not only that, this is the first time we're getting to see an Attack of the Clones Anakin Skywalker figure. Obviously, we have 2 versions of Anakin from the Revenge of the Sith. I have both of those. They're both fantastic figures, but I'm really excited for this one because this is something different. Because obviously, when you're looking at the dark side and the light side Anakin, apart from the display base and the difference in the eye color, they are essentially the same figure. Obviously, there's some differences in the robe as well, but apart from that, they're very, very similar. So to get this one is very exciting for me. very random price tag at $279. I don't know what
Both of them.
Sideshow's doing with I don't know what they're doing with these price tags. I mean, they've done it recently. I think for Valkyrie, she had a really random price as well. Don't know
Great
what
price though.
Great price. I agree. And guys, this does come with USB sabers. So you're probably looking at that price and you're like, huh, what does it come with for $279? We're about to talk about that, but let's look at the photos first. Hot Toys Nightmare Sean is in the house. Sean
What's
making
up?
it early tonight. Good to see you, Sean. You're just in time to talk about our favorite figure, our favorite release of this year.
In theory.
Anakin Skywalker.
So I'm gonna share my opinion right off the rip, guys. This head sculpt, if they retain this head sculpt, this is a perfect head sculpt. I hate to say it because using the word perfect is not the best thing to do because obviously there's always room for improvement. But for me personally, and my personal taste, and when I'm looking at the sculpt compared to photos, this is a fantastic sculpt. I mean, this is like a freakish level of detail and accuracy in terms of the sculpt work, in my opinion. I know some people had some comments to make about those little baby hairs that they have. I love it. I think it adds to the realism that much more. I think the hairline is great. I think the texture of the hair looks great. Overall, I think this is as close to a perfect sculpt as you can get. I truly do think that that's the case here. I think they brought their A game because they know how important of a figure this is, and I think they killed it.
Well, these
obviously, go ahead, Lane.
These two are the centerpiece of this entire, 20th anniversary line. Like,
of course, I mean these are figures that people have been begging for,
Mace Windu
and C-3PO as well, and Mace Windu. But how long has that Padme been kind of staring us in the eyes every time we went on that coming soon page? They even, I don't know if you guys caught this, but when Padme first went up on Sideshow, they used those original photos.
Yep.
So it's
I got notice emails from the old RSVP.
So did I, from my old RSVP ones.
For forever.
I got like 3 of them, dude. I'm like, how many times did I RSVP? Did I want that figure that bad? I just kept RSVPing.
I got those RSVPs. I'm like, you already got my money. I already pre-ordered it like 2 hours ago.
Right. What are you talking about? But yeah, dude, like I'm over the moon. And the fact that this came out, was announced before the end of this year is just like a Christmas miracle to me, I've ever since this was announced, I've been kind of like over the moon, and I'm almost in like disbelief that this actually happened. And it's going to be the same case for Mace Windu. It's like another one of those characters that it's a very beloved character, and we've been waiting for so long, and the stuff is finally here. We got through our Mando phase. They gave us some more clones, and now it's time to get some main characters. And here we are. We got our Anakin Skywalker. We got our Padme. We're going to be getting our Mace Windu. So it's really, really exciting. I can't say enough about this figure. We'll move on to Ryan, because if you sit here and listen to me, I'm just going to sit here and tell you it's the best figure I've ever seen because I just love it so much. But Ryan, what are your thoughts on this figure? How big is this of a release for you?
It's all right. Nothing special. You move on. No, I day one. I to say I day one pre-ordered it. I know we were talking about it. I don't even think you can consider it. I like the first hour, the first minute it came out, I was pre-ordered. So I don't even know if I can say day one. I was kind of shocked that it came out from the time of the announcement to when it came out. They dropped it pretty heavy. It looks like Sideshow's really pumping out some great stuff for the end. I'm sorry, Hot Toys for the end of the year. I'm ecstatic about this. I think the price point for both figures is just, that $279, $300 sweet spot is kind of like what I feel like the standard now. I think the price point's great for what it comes with, USB. The sculpt, I pray Hot Toys does not, I know these are prototypes, things can change. They do not need to alter these sculpts.
Right, don't touch it. Just leave it how it is.
Yeah, it's not like Loki. I think we could, if they think they have to tweak it, do not. Like, leave it as is, put them out. They look phenomenal.
It's perfect at every angle. Dude.
Yeah, no, every angle looks really great. I mean, a movie came out in 2002. I think he was 21 years old, 21 years old. I just looked it up. He was around 21. And so to go back and make that sculpt like that, they hit a home run. It's absolutely unbelievable. I know for me, when we talked, I wasn't a huge prequel fan originally when they all came out, but I have such an appreciation for these movies, the characters themselves, the stories. I have my highs and lows about it, but the characters were phenomenal. I love all the characters, and yeah, how could you not grab this? And I really hope what this means, it opens up a door that we might see an Obi-Wan. I really hope we do. I know previous Obi-Wans have, I don't think they have the best track record in making a proper Ewan McGregor sculpt. I think the one from the TV show wasn't great, and even like the episode 3 one, it looked good, but I thought it could have been better. So I really hope that we get like an episode 2 Obi-Wan. I would love that if we got that. I'd love that.
And it's very interesting because obviously that's like a huge counterpart for this figure, apart from the Padme as well, of course. But it's like it kind of makes you want to lose hope because we still don't have any whispers about the general Obi-Wan that's supposed to go with our General Anakin, which we all have in our collections now, so.
And it's really weird how, like, even if you want to even go further back, like episode 1, we got Qui-Gon, we got Darth Maul. How did we not get a Ewan McGregor Padawan?
Right, which was a big part of that film.
The lightsaber fight. How did we not, like, that was a miss. Unless there's just logistics in the background that we're not aware of. With
I feel like there is.
Like that, But the one thing about this figure, real quick to touch point on, and I know we talked about it, it just proves another point that, was it Cobb Vanth, I think, $300.
Right, and you're paying $279 for this one.
Obviously, that was a character license while you paid $300 for that figure. And it just amazes me because that's what I always do when these releases come out. I try to compare them to other stuff that I may want to buy. And it's like, if I had $300, as much as I want Cobb Vanth, I'm going to get Cobb Vanth. It's like, if I had to choose, how do I not get this over that figure for so much more it comes with and who the character is? And it's $279. I know it's not out the door, but it's like, come on. It's such
it is. And they definitely certainly had issues getting that likeness for Timothy Oliphant. So that's probably part of the reason why it is the price that it is.
Yeah.
Because obviously they kept showing Cobb Vanth from convention to convention and he just had the helmet on. And we were starting to lose hope because we saw what happened with Axe Woves. They're like, sorry, you're not getting a head sculpt.
Yeah.
So we started to lose hope. And honestly, if Cobb didn't have the head sculpt, I probably wouldn't have.
I would get that. I'm just getting it for the head sculpt. But like I said, to touch on this one, absolutely fantastic. They hit a home run. Just prove, I think, why Hot Toys is still the best because they keep pulling rabbits out of the hat. And even though it's crazy, even though they teased it on a poster, I'm still shocked that we got it. You know what I mean? Even though they did a tease before the tease, it's like, holy crap, I still can't believe that we got that. It's just so awesome.
Yeah. We're going to talk single songwriter. We're going to talk about Mace in a little bit. Once we get through Padme and Anakin, we're going to talk about Mace. But I think you might be right on the money there. I don't know about tonight, but he's definitely going to come soon. I think for sure.
I think it's going to be before the new year, definitely.
Absolutely, and
100%.
Yeah,
within the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah. So, Eric, we appreciate you. It's always good to see you, by the way. And thank you so much for always commenting on the videos and stuff. I've been seeing you around a lot.
Panal, is that a pro wrestler I haven't heard about?
Panal, yes. It's French. Chill out. Got Rogue on pre-order. Excited for Witcher and Mr. Knight. Yeah, I'm interested to see the Mr. Knight as well because we haven't heard anything from Hot Toys. I still have faith that we may get some more from Moon Knight because they are spreading out the stuff. Lane's shaking his head. He's shaking his head, but we did get Gore super late into the game, and like Valkyrie was a little late too for that release. So you never know, Lane.
They weren't this far off, and I think Moon Knight they wanted to just put out something because they.
You never know, dude. You just never know. Look at Bespin Luke. Look how far out Bespin Luke was from the original release of all those other 50th anniversary.
Are you really
figures.
Comparing Bespin Luke to getting?
I am because everybody else.
That's not a good.
It is because everybody else was saying that he wasn't going to release for a whole year. Everybody was like, "It's not going to happen anymore. It's too far beyond." So anything
Skywalker
could happen
versus Moon Knight.
Anything could happen. We're not talking about the character. I'm strictly talking about the amount of time in between the releases. Anything could happen, truly. So I wouldn't count it out, dude. I wouldn't. Trust me.
I would put more trust in that they're going to have like the entirety of Sully and I forget even.
I'm kind of having I don't know. CMB, are you having a deja vu right now? It's almost like this is like a Mace Windu 2025 moment where they were like, yeah, Mace Windu's not going to come out to 2025 , and guess what? He's coming, baby. He's coming, baby. He's not
big enough to talk shit.
Time will not tell.
You know what? Even if he comes out in fourth quarter,
will not tell, baby.
My time frame is still more.
No, guys. No, because you said that he wasn't going to be announced for Attack of the Clones and he was going to be a Revenge of the Sith release. So
okay, no, I said it would be 2025, and I said it makes more sense to release
everybody in the chat. Everybody in the chat, you were here for it. You were here for it.
Guys. The time for Revenge of the Sith, because even if he announces, say he announces tonight.
Well, anyway,
an announcement and a release is completely different.
Talk about Anakin.
So we're gonna keep talking about Anakin. So
yeah, this is reference to Anakin because Anakin cuts off Mace Windu's arm, so therefore we're not off the subject.
So, but the thing is Mace Windu is going to be releasing in the same line as Anakin Skywalker, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, which he already would have, because when he was announced in 2025, we already had Anakin.
But he's got all right. Let's get into Mace Windu now, then, since we're kind of on the topic. We might as well, because a lot of people in the chat are asking about it, and we're theorizing here about Mace Windu. So there is talks that Mace Windu is going to announce next week. And there's a lot of people who are in Hong Kong saying that they're hearing this from people that are working at the Hot Toys stores. Obviously, that's all rumor. There's nothing confirmed, but there's a lot of people saying that he's planned for announcement next week. So,
hey, okay, real quick, I got to say this joke though. What if they're talking about Samuel L. Jackson and it ends up being like Samuel L. Jackson from Secret Wars and not?
I wouldn't be opposed to that either, because I still haven't purchased a Nick Fury figure. I've been looking at the Winter Soldier one.
It can't be a Secret Wars because the movie hasn't even come out yet.
Right, but
Secret Invasion, not Secret Wars.
I knew what he meant, but yeah. So I wouldn't be opposed to that if we did get a Nick Fury figure, because I don't have a Nick Fury in my collection yet. But I think that's coming. I mean, if we're getting a Mace Windu, they're certainly going to take advantage of that likeness again. They've already done 2 Nick Fury figures, so it's certainly very likely to happen once that content gets closer. But I do want to address some more of the comments here about Anakin. But yeah, guys, that's the rumor for Mace Windu, though. We're not going to talk about Mace Windu much more tonight because we don't have any photos or any additional information. I was going to save it until after Anakin, but since Lane and Sean wanted to spread their blasphemy about my boy Mace Windu again, we had to address it.
Apparently, they didn't get full off their first serving of
They
crow
didn't.
pie.
They didn't get.
They want another serving of crow pie.
Yeah, they wanted another serving. We had to give it to them, but we can go on all night about who said what, guys. At the end of the day, we have clips of everything. So if you guys want to go back and prove me correct, go for it. I'm all for it. Send me the clips. I'm just joking, but
provide the evidence.
I really do hope that, speaking of USB sabers, I really do hope that they continue to release these figures with USB sabers. It seems like recently not all of the features have been from figure to figure. They have been introducing more USB powered stuff, and I'm glad to see that they're doing it more and more.
Consistency.
Right. That's what they're lacking right now, I think, is consistency. And it is getting better. We are seeing now that I can't recall the last recently announced Jedi or Sith or whatever figure that has a lightsaber not having USB power. I know the Inquisitors both have it.
Darth Vader has it.
Darth Vader has it. Obi-Wan has it.
Everything in 22, I think, had USB, if I'm not mistaken.
And what they've been doing too is just not. And what they could be doing as well is not initially announcing a figure with the USB power, but then introducing it later. We saw it with the Miles. What was that? 2020 Miles? Right, that Miles. We saw it with that one where they didn't mention it originally, but then when the final product arrived, it had USB power. So I think they are going to continue to move in this direction. Like you said, the word is consistency. I'd like to see more of a consistency with that, but it remains to be seen. Boba Fettuccini says, this sculpt is one of the best. I collect nothing prequel, but this one is outstanding. # baby hairs. Yeah, dude. The baby hairs, there's been a bit of I haven't really seen people crapping on the figure, but there's been a bit of a back and forth of whether they think they should have included that or not. I personally think it looks good. I don't know about you all on the panel, but I like it. I think it's a nice attention to detail.
They also did that, not baby hairs like that, but they also did that on the Iron Man Mark III. If you look at the Mark III, I think it is.
Right.
They painted in hairs on the forehead to kind of make it like that end battle scene. So, I mean, it's not the first figure that they're doing a little bit of a...
Right, they're just playing around with it.
Hair painting, I guess you could say.
Yeah, they're just playing around with it for sure. Yeah. JB Collection, good to see you, my friend. I haven't seen you here in a few weeks. Good to see you. Kinky Sphincter. It is an awesome figure. I love this figure, man. Like I said, for me, this is up there as one of the best announcements for the year. Ty says, release the Mace. What's up, dudes? How's it going, Ekwan? I hope you're doing well.
It just trips me out because back when my kid used to join in on the streams on Geeking Out, we would do the predictions on what figures are coming. So far, he's like 4 out of 5 with his predictions on figures, and Padawan Anakin was one of his predictions. And it's just crazy. It just trips me out, like how many figures he predicted and said he would want to see, and now we're actually.
He's just got a knack for it.
So that means you're buying 2 of them then.
I mean, yeah, I already asked him if he wanted this, and he was like, "Yep."
Ask him about Mace Windu. Ask him what he thinks about Mace Windu next week.
Does he want 3 or 4?
He wants Mace Windu.
Cool. So next week it's guaranteed then. If he wants,
it just trips me out that like he made all these predictions and like he was on the money with them. So it's like he spoke into the ether, and the ether was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna hook up that kid."
There you go. Dude, single songwriter. That Poe makes me sad every time I see that picture because, I mean, I have a lot more sequel trilogy figures than you guys may realize, and you'll see that whenever I do my collection tour here soon. And that's kind of like a hole in my sequel trilogy collection is a Poe, and I actually really like Oscar Isaac as an actor, so I would love to see at least one figure with an Oscar Isaac head sculpt if we don't ever get that Mr. Knight. But I guess that remains to be seen. Maybe Hot Toys will eventually start digging up all these prototypes. I mean, guys, Cyborg got dug up from the grave, the long grave. Padme got dug up from the grave. So that's why I'm saying, and obviously, yes, Luke is a bit different than Mr. Knight, of course, but just think about the amount of time in between when all of the other ESB figures are coming out, and then this Luke, and the amount of time in between when Padme was originally shown, and we're now just getting her, like 3 years later?
Look, we can all right, well, fine. Don't use the Luke Moon Knight. What about Hobo Goblin? Willem Dafoe is a big character. Look how long it was before he finally got announced.
Right. So, I mean, they are kind of moving differently right now. So I am very interested to see how they continue to move. I did not mean to pull up Padme. I know you guys want to look at Padme now, but let me pull up. So MRC actually went down the secret base, and lucky for us, he took some videos of the prototypes. So I'm going to pull up the videos. And for Padme, especially those that were a bit on the fence about the head sculpt because some of the photos were not the best lit, I think it'll definitely satisfy. But look at this head sculpt, man. I mean, I really don't think it gets any better than this in terms of the accuracy of the likeness. And again, you can see those baby hairs here, and I don't think they're bad at all. I think it kind of lends itself to the realism. It makes it look more real. It looks like a realistic hairline, and it's accurate to the movie, of course.
Now, is that now you think that's the USB lightsaber, or is that the regular one they just probably stuck in as a holder? Because I've never actually seen.
So I've seen them in the display. You can actually see the black wire.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't look like this is the USB lightsaber.
I would say I have never seen them in a display turned on yet from anything displayed.
No, I haven't either. Those are the USB hilts right there. You can see them towards the bottom.
Oh, there.
Of course, it's covering it, but let me try to go back.
No, yeah, I see it right there. Okay.
Yeah, so you can see the wires coming from. Yeah, I haven't seen them lit up yet either. I don't know if you guys in the chat have seen that either, but I have not seen them lit up either. So
I'm just curious, as I've never seen. I'm just interested to see what they actually look like.
Pretty sure they're going to be bright.
Tonight. I hope so, dude.
I hope they're.
Look at the
super
lights
bright
for the Miles 2020 suit with the USB plugged in. It's pretty bright, so I would assume that, given with USB sabers, it's going to be just as bright as the Miles 2020 suit.
Yeah, I would think so. And the Miles 2020
because I got the Miles
really
2020 suit, and like when you plug it in with the USB, it's pretty bright.
Which is good because obviously the normal like button cell battery powered stuff we're used to, it's not very bright. It's like I have one CFL saber and it blows it out of the water. Nice. He gave us a close up of the hilts, which
that's
is cool.
Nice right there.
Really, really nice. And of course, it's top tier painting from Hot Toys on the hilts. I think out of all these companies that do figures, Hot Toys does the best job at painting things to look like real metal. Especially if you guys have seen the Sideshow General Grievous, those hilts are like it's like chrome.
Blobs of chrome.
It's like pure chrome, and it's so bizarre.
Zombie Iron Man is a perfect example because it's all plastic, but when you look at it, it looks like
real metal. Yeah. Yep. And they've come a long way with that. Now, there was a lot of questions about, and I still haven't gotten an answer for this, about whether this robot arm is articulated or not, because obviously the Revenge of the Sith releases for Anakin, that arm was articulated. If I had to guess, it looks fixed to me in the photos. Which I don't have a problem with. I mean, to be honest with you, who's going to display Anakin with the robot arm?
Well, the only time he had it is when it was extended straight when he was holding hands at the end of Attack of the Clones. So even if it is only does that, it literally is accurate to how it was seen. Maybe I guess.
No, because at the end he grabbed Padme's hand. They put their hands and interlock them.
He did get married. You're right. He did
clench
at the end. Yeah, when they have their secret wedding on the patio. she puts her hand into his robot hand, and he squeezes her hand.
Yo, let's be real.
Oh, that's right, because it does a close up of his hand.
We're just playing this with dual lightsabers.
Yeah.
What are we kidding here? It's gonna be.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's not articulated, I personally won't be upset. Yeah, that's definitely not articulated.
No, it doesn't look at all because you see it's supposed to be all wiring.
I haven't watched
really...
this video yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not articulated, but it
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
great.
It doesn't even bother me. Even if you don't want it, like what you can do is just paint it silver and then put it in a little case, and you got the Terminator
T800 arm,
Cyberdyne.
yeah.
You got the Cyberdyne
Yeah.
T800 arm at their facility in the tube.
Right.
So by Boulder and Boulder Inc. It's trademarked and copyrighted.
There you go. If you guys make that custom, you owe them some royalties. 1/6 Star Wars
5
Pinkazoid. I
orange
grabbed mine
slices.
as well. There you go. 5 orange slices. That's the payment. I pre-ordered mine as well. I'm not missing out on these, especially with what's going on lately. I'm not going to go and pre-order everything day one, of course, but the releases like this that are really special to me, I don't want to take any chances whatsoever. So I did pre-order these, and I think Ryan, you did as well.
Oh
right?
yeah, I think we did at the same time.
That's okay, Tremble. I misspell all the time. I don't use autocorrect, so a lot of times it's just incoherent. That's okay. TX Boy says it makes the sculpt look more real. Excuse me, I can't even talk now. It makes the sculpt look more realistic with more detail. I would agree. I think, again, it kind of makes that hairline look more human-like, and it kind of blends the hairline better as well. And I looked at photos, and it is accurate. So let's see. Ian says, I definitely want to get this Anakin. I've got the Clone Wars one, but I think this is better by a long shot. Collecting Madness is in the house. His face is covered right now. Yeah, dude, even if you have just a Clone Wars display, he'll fit. You don't have to specifically have an Attack of the Clones
Dude, that was
display.
so good. So good.
He does. And I think this, look how like nice and like substantial the tailoring is.
Well,
on,
they've
like,
reused
the
a lot
tabards.
with the older body and stuff like that.
They did. They reused the boots, and it looks like they reused the tabard and everything. I would have liked to see a better material for the tabard.
That's the facial sculpt is the big thing with this.
Even the hair, dude. They nailed his like kind of like shorter, like almost buzzed hair. It looks really, really good.
And the painted hair actually looks good when the shadows are hitting it with the light. It actually does look.
Yeah, they just need to do this, or is 90% of this, and the figure will be great. I don't think we'll be able to play anything with that sculpt at all.
Right
now, they make it look like Ant-Man, then we got a problem.
Yeah, for sure. What's up, Eclectic? I'm really excited for Mace too, dude. We were talking about Mace briefly earlier because Sean was being Sean.
Hating. He was hating.
Yeah, but we were talking about Mace briefly earlier. We're kind of expecting that we'll see Mace at some point next week. That's kind of the word that's out right now. Obviously, that's just a rumor at this point, but. Let me go back to Sideshow so that we can get Chris's opinion, because I know this is a big release for Chris.
Yeah, bro, I was about to start getting on to you, because how the heck are you going to start talking about my favorite character as well?
Well, you know what, Chris?
Respect.
We had to get right in.
Put some respect on him.
Yo, with all those empty detox, do you even collect Hot Toys?
Yeah, dude. Wow. You've been a collector, dude.
They're on this.
Everybody's getting the smoke today.
Sean's
Sean's got us in a mood. Everybody's getting the smoke today. I don't care who it is. You're all getting the smoke.
I'm still working on lighting and stuff like that before I put them all in.
My stuff's a mess behind me, so I shouldn't talk.
But yeah, I'm super, super excited for this figure. Like Mr. Mom was, I think it was him. I was hearing it on the way here in the car about, it wasn't even like day one, it was like millisecond ordering it.
Yeah,
the sculpt's amazing, the tailoring's amazing, the color, even down to like, I know some people who are like super specific with cosplaying and stuff like that. The belt buckle they flipped, if people didn't know, the belt buckle from Revenge of the Sith to Attack of the Clones, it's flipped in the opposite direction, and Hot Toys nailed that to a T. I know some people, like my brother, have to mention it out there, are picky about the pants. It's not that brown color, it's a burgundy like Revenge of the Sith. But Hot Toys has been pretty good lately, like they did with Vaughn, of updating for accuracy. So I think they'll get it right. And if they don't, this is still a 10 out of 10 for me. Like at the end of the day, obviously I pre-ordered it, but yeah, super excited. Remember seeing the film in theater, so it's just close to my heart. So definitely have to have this in the collection.
Yeah, and it's like This is such a big figure for me. I'm almost considering getting 2 because I think this is one I'll look back on. I'll be like, man, I should have got 2 of these. It's not like set in stone, but
yeah, it like starts his transcendent towards the dark side. Like it's a pinnacle figure in my opinion.
Right, and there's just so many different ways you could display this one. So I don't know. Of course, I've already pre-ordered mine because I just wanted to get mine in just to be safe. But I don't know. So TX Boy brings up a good point here. So I kind of want to bring this up while we're talking about these figures. He said, "I've never been as excited in the past to be a Hot Toy collector as I am now, with so many future grails going up for pre-order. The golden age of Hot Toys for sure." And I think that's a great point. Now, of course, it's hard right now to determine what's going to be a grail and what isn't, obviously, because, and when we talk about grail, we're talking about desired figures, sometimes very valuable. And it's hard to determine that right now because obviously the secondary market and kind of the state of pre-orders and everything is changing, So right now we're seeing these pre-orders only last about, of course, these are the newer pre-orders within the last like 6 months or so, but we're seeing these pre-orders go to wait lists long before they hit in stock. So is that going to determine the value of these figures moving forward? Possibly. What we really need to wait and see is what happens when the figures are officially released. Are they going to stock the website some more and say, okay, we've got some more now that it's officially released, we got some more for you? Or is it going to be they fulfill their pre-orders kind of like a comic shop does? Comic shops, for the most part, they don't really ever get extras. Some might get a few extras here and there, depending on the volume that their company's able to put out. But generally speaking, a lot of these smaller comic shops, they have a pre-order phase. They get their pre-orders in, they get cut off, and that's it. Sideshow has always been different because they're the official distributor in the US. And because of that, they've kept a lot of extra stock because obviously people come to their website frequently to purchase these figures. But obviously recently, Sideshow's taken a look at this, and I'm sure they've been working kind of hand in hand with Hot Toys. It's clear that they have, obviously, because they've been doing these first look videos and such. But they've been cutting these pre-orders off early because they're tired of these figures sitting. They're tired of having all this stock to the point where they're doing a buy one, get one. Mm-hmm. Do you think Sideshow wanted to do that? No, they did not want to do that. They did not want to give these figures away for basically cost because they're not making any money. So that's my thoughts on it. I do want to see, like, kind of a year down the road, what happens to the market for a lot of these newer figures, especially because obviously right now the market is tanked for a lot of stuff. Like a lot of these die-cast Iron Man figures, Mandalorian figures, any troopers from the Mandalorian and such, they're not worth it. Even named characters like Bespin Luke, or excuse me, Snowspeeder Luke. You can get Snowspeeder Luke for $200, So I think it's going to be funny though, because a lot of people are going to look back, and we've all done it. I mean, I was around when a lot of these figures were coming out, a lot of these Grail figures, and I wasn't buying them because I wasn't that into Hot Toys yet. I was still being conservative about it, getting one every once in a while, So I've even seen it, but I've had a chance to learn lessons from it, and we all will. Obviously, you won't always buy within your means, but if you're thinking about it and you're like, that's a special character to me, don't miss out on it. Try to get the best deal you can, but of course, now you have to pay attention. Sorry, guys, if that was a long-winded answer, but I took that as an opportunity to give you guys a bit of advice that I would have shared with myself when I first started. And I hope that's of value to you. But if anyone else kind of wants to share their thoughts on this while we're talking about it, I think it's a great topic to talk about. I don't know if Ryan, you wanted to jump in and kind of share your thoughts on this, but what are your thoughts on these figures potentially being, and not only just figures, but vehicles? I mean, heck, the DeLorean is up right now. You can purchase a DeLorean for retail right now.
I think it's really, I mean, for me, I have that kind of feeling where there's times when I see stuff online. Like I said, I got into Hot Toys specifically May of 2020, so I missed out on some stuff that I wish, if I was in the game 6 months earlier, I would have got this, that, or that. But I mean, to be honest with you, there's always those waves. There's collectors always coming in at different points in time, so there's never a perfect time to get into a hobby. You're always going to miss out on stuff. So for me, I can only speak of, now going forward. I just think that there's just so much awesome stuff. I mean, honestly, man, I know we'll talk about it later. I still can't believe I'm looking at a Val Kilmer Batman Forever sitting on my table right now. Yeah. I mean, I know when I got into it 2020, I saw that on like the coming soon dead page, the graveyard page on Sideshow. And I was thinking, oh man, that'd be awesome if they ever made that. And I can't believe it's sitting on my desk right now. That's just mind blowing to me. My childhood is literally sitting on my desk. That's so awesome. And so, to be honest, I really hope they do cut off figures sooner. If that means that we get more, I'm all for it in terms of, kind of shutting the window a little closer, because you're going to have those people that maybe get it or flake. So I'm all about that more. I don't want to say exclusivity, because then I don't want it to be like a Captain America stealth suit situation where it's such a
limited
situation.
to 300 in the US.
Yeah, but like I'm okay with like Anakin if this thing got cut off and like, wasn't open for a few months, but like if it got cut off sooner, because I think everybody who wants it, they pre-ordered this thing already, or they're going to. I mean, I can't see this thing sitting around. If this is one of those figures, it may come around out of a year. You may get like 5 figures where it's like day one, without a doubt, I'm getting it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And this is definitely one of them. And if you're on the fence already, what are you waiting for? I don't know. It's $270. Yeah. And also, I think I didn't get a chance to, but if you had that $20 coupon, you could have thrown $20 on it. It'll let you throw $20
right
on
and I was talking with you. Sideshow randomly sent out like all these $20 off coupons. I had
so you can use the coupon on
it.
So now you're down to what, 260, 255, 265. How much cheaper do you really want it to get? Like when I'm gonna go blue screen, what are you waiting for? I don't understand.
Right, with this one,
for it.
There are certain figures that you can kind of wait on, and certain figures that you should not necessarily you have to day one pre-order, but keep a close eye on it. And these two especially, keep a close eye on them, because again, we don't know what Sideshow is going to do. Are they going to cut these off in 6 months? I mean, those Bark Speeders guys, those are already on wait lists, and those were not cheap in terms of R&D. Those were not cheap to develop, especially the one with the sidecar that swings out and has a mechanism for that. That's not cheap to develop. So the fact that they cut them those pre-orders off early makes me somewhat concerned about these and makes me want to keep a close eye on them. Mm-hmm. Of course, you don't have to pre-order right now. Don't be scared into pre-ordering, but keep an eye on it. At the end of the day, if you're not going to pre-order, keep an eye on it, because you never know what's going to happen, especially with how the market's kind of turning around right now and Sideshow's changing the way they operate. Definitely keep an eye on it.
And that price point is pretty good too.
Right, and that's another thing. It's like those Bark Speeders, yes, they were difficult to develop or expensive to develop, but also they're very expensive. So some people may have not jumped on them immediately. They are definitely cheaper. And like Ryan said, if you have those $20 offs, you can still use those on this figure. At least last I checked was earlier today, and you could. So we'll see what happens.
No,
with
it's not on there anymore.
They've pulled them off. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
I know what's crazy.
I know day one you can throw $20 on it, because I know a few people reach out to me about it. So
Lane's pretty good at keeping track of those coupons. He had actually let me know the other day that Hunter and everybody was on the coupon and the Batman.
Then it disappeared
within like an hour, dude, like an hour and a half. I was so mad because I was going to get Hunter. But that's how they are with these coupons. They're like, oh, let's get a couple more sales for these. They throw them on the
Reva's
coupons.
Still on there. I know if you really needed your Reva.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to get Reva, but that's not what I'm rushing.
No. But I mean, like, so that's
she is still on there though.
That's one of the things with the coupons and everything that is both good and bad with them, is that Anakin and Padme actually lasted on there a lot longer than I thought it was going to. So they may. I'm guessing something like Sideshow was expecting they were going to be ordering a lot more of these figures, so they left them on there for longer. Like She-Hulk, was on there. She was actually on there for a couple of days. A lot of times when they would, have a new release figure pop on, it would last maybe a day or hours sometimes for using coupons, and then it would get pulled a lot of times,
Yeah.
So they've been because they were on for several days, I think. So, I mean, I think that the response to these figures has been great. Seems like it's been really positive.
It has, it really has.
Yeah, they've been, for now we're fit. Now since She-Hulk, we're now in it's 2024 or forward, pretty much now. These are all 2024 figures. We can say that without confusion, or maybe 2024. Like we had with the Obi-Wan and Vader and stuff, since they're split in that 6-month window. But I think this one was a relatively somewhat easy figure for them to make, because the body and the outfit is pretty much now.
Right, there's a lot of like reused stuff. For sure.
I expect it to be
apart from the skull.
Yeah.
What's pretty cool though about it is that, overall, I mean, just one point I'll add, it's nice to actually see a change where pretty much the entire community was positively behind these figures, whether you're Star Wars or not.
Which hasn't been happening a lot.
You can not be a Star Wars fan, but appreciate you're looking at a piece of art and quality.
even that She-Hulk, which was I think
that was overwhelmingly
really
positive too. Yeah,
yeah.
that was
Well, no, the only thing you could say that people had any comment on, and I don't think these even had that, was just because of the arms and possible tearing that might happen from the body.
I mean,
but
that was a given. With, yeah. But if you would have went with a jointed elbow, people would have complained. Like it had to be. Yeah. There's always pros and cons, but even with that figure, the price point, you couldn't even complain about anything about it, price point or anything. It was same thing with Anakin.
The only thing they're making it really hard on for you is if you're trying to limit the number of figures you're going to buy in 2024 or later, is you can already be 3 for 3, and these are the first 3.
Right, we're already stacking up 2024 for She-Hulk and these two.
Not for just 2024, not including anything else that could carry over.
And then the rest of this wave, which is Mace Windu and the Super Battle Droid, that's 2 more that are in 2024.
Which, like I said, if this is what we're going to get from these two, Mace is going to be a 10. It's got to be a 10 out of 10. I mean, I hate to say it. I don't want to overhype it, but I mean, if this is what Anakin looks like and this is what Padme looks like, and Mace has been teased for a few years, and he's finally going to
and they're not necessarily having to make stuff from zero,
right? And Mace is also bald, so that kind of takes away half of the difficulty from that.
And also,
it's truthfully,
it's also a little bit easier outfit because it's Jedi robes.
I'm just worried about that sculpt. I don't know the outfit. Literally the only thing I care about is that sculpt.
I know the sculpt's going to be good because look at the Winter Soldier Nick Fury sculpt. It's fantastic.
I was just going to say that. Isn't the Nick Fury one pretty good?
Right, it's really good. So I have. I mean, of course, they're covering an eye with an eye patch, but I think on that one,
I'm going to be a little bit of rain cold water here. Not on Anakin though. I think Anakin's great. When I already have said when I said on our video yesterday with Geeking Out. I think this Anakin is really good. This is one I am considering I might get. I don't know yet. I'm not for 2024. Like I said, I really like the She-Hulk, even though I hated the show and stopped watching that 3rd episode. I love that figure of her, but I'm in a holding pattern right now. Is that before I start my pre-orders and even though I know Vader and Obi-Wan and some of those could be in 2024, but I mean. Exclusive 2024 or going forward kind of figures. I want to see more stuff announced from different properties and stuff because I want to have kind of an idea of what's coming in the first half of 2024 before I start actually pre-ordering.
Some more 80s stuff would be nice. We're all hoping for that.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi or
Return of the Jedi, it's going to be good.
You're getting Jedi next year at some point.
Yeah, so there's more. So before I start, as much as I like these, or there might be Mando season 3.
You're saying you got to pump the brakes a little bit and wait and see. Which is fair.
I'm saying for myself is we have, not including Darth Vader and Obi-Wan and other ones that for Obi-Wan have been announced, could be in 2024 too. I think you need to. These are cool. This Anakin Padme, they're not going to be going anywhere for a while. I know they've been waitlisting some stuff, but you're gonna have 6 months from now to the middle.
Right? Yeah, of course. That's about what we've seen. That's what we've seen is at least 6 months.
I would advise people right now. My advice to sometimes with the thing, I definitely think this is something you shouldn't ignore and everything. And if there's a specific place that you like to order from, they may have a limited supply they get. Then you might need to go ahead and pull the trigger. But if you get from Sideshow primarily or something, I would say, you know what? These are really cool. You should definitely have your list on ones you're considering, but maybe wait a couple months, see what else gets announced between now and then, or even after the Chinese New Year, because there might be some other series or other figures where you might have to make some hard decisions.
Right. I would utilize your, a lot of these websites, I know Sideshow and some other ones have it. Utilize those wish lists. Make yourself a wish list so you can kind of see everything laid out.
And you track it. And you can track it for yourself. If you got 15 figures out of 16 announced releases, you might have to kind of go, okay, I need to go back and look at this a little bit.
That's what this made me do. So I originally I was going to get a couple other figures, Axe Woves. I was going to get Bo-Katan. Knowing I'm getting these, I completely shut all those down. I'm not getting anything else from Mando. I'm focusing in on.
Yeah, this takes precedence for sure.
This takes precedence because I already know I'm getting the Super Battle Droid.
Blasphemy.
3PO, R2D2.
Yeah. So I want to address this comment, and then I want to hear CMB's and Sean's thoughts, not only on Anakin, but of course regarding the question about future Grails and stuff. But I want to read this comment because this is regarding this topic of conversation. And guys, we're going to get to Padme soon, but I want to hear the rest of the panel's thoughts. TX Boy brings up a good point. He said tons of vehicles and the characters are extremely popular from Marvel and Star Wars. Take the Sinister Six and now the Star Wars prequel popularity as it has rose to the top in the ranks of the Star Wars community. Perfect example, guys. Yes, Green Goblin, Doc Ock. Those figures are going bye-bye. They're gone, you know? So it's like, if that can happen with them, with Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, like big name actors, fan favorites, like Lane said, 6 months down the road, and we may see the same thing happening with these. Of course, we haven't seen it as much with the Star Wars stuff, so it kind of remains to be seen. But if they continue with the same trends, we could see kind of a similarity across the board with stuff going to waitlist very early on. But thank you for that comment, and we're going to address some of the other comments, but I want to hear, so we can move on to Padme, I want to hear CMB's thoughts to start on the Anakin as a whole, and also your thoughts on that question we addressed earlier about these current figures going to waitlist early and then possibly becoming future grails.
Well, Anakin, I mean, what's there to say that you guys already haven't? It's a phenomenal sculpt, great figure. It's about time, you know, better late than never.
That's true.
So,
That's very
I mean,
true.
I have no complaints. Like I said,
you can let us know if you're going to go Nate on and buy like 5 to 8.
No, I don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, 2 max, and Mr. Tremble Dust over here saying, hey, if you're thinking about 2, just get the 2. Stop it. Don't you do that to me. Don't you do that to me.
One for me and one for my son. So
yeah.
I mean, there, you can call it a day at that. I don't need too many Anakins because, I mean, we got Revenge of the Sith anniversary coming up soon too. So
yeah, that's true.
More than likely we'll get plus, who knows, we may get that dark side Anakin from the Kenobi show.
There was that rumor going around.
Isn't it funny? That's kind of
3 figures coming with his likeness.
Isn't that funny though?
That would be the third one. Is that dark side Anakin we saw with the 501st Troopers and the photos. So, and the thing about the Grails, like, the thing about it is with Grails is that depends on the collector. You know, one person's Grail could be another person's trash figure. So that's really just, that falls on the collector and what they perceive as a Grail. You know, there are certain
of value or collectability.
Exactly. You know, but then there are, you know, certain ones like Anakin and Padme. We know these are going to be considered Grails because of how long people have been waiting on them for. The new low pre-order game that Sideshow's doing, where, you know, if you miss out, then that's it. They're not coming back. You got to find it from somewhere else. So, I mean, there's a lot of factors that are going into play into making things Grail, whether it's being forced onto the market to where there's a limited amount or for pre-orders wise, which makes it a Grail. And then you look at it from a collector's standpoint. Does the collector feel that it's a Grail, or do they not? You know, like I said, one person might say, man, this Anakin is 100% a Grail. Another person might be like, it's just another figure to me. So, I mean, we can't really just say, oh, everything coming out is a Grail, because if that's the case, then everything Hot Toys has ever made is a Grail.
Right.
You know, so it just falls on the collector and the person who feels that it is. You know, I have figures in my collection that I feel are Grails, but I know others would look at it and be like, not for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and also it's like you kind of said, it's like the term Grail is used differently by certain people.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people will see, oh, this is going to be a Grail to me, because for some people, it's Grail is purely based on value. If we're talking about that, like Darkside Anakin, a lot of people say that's a Grail, and a lot of the reasoning behind that is because it's a super expensive figure.
Yep.
Whereas other figures, like you said, if it's something that's meaningful to you and it's like, oh, that's a release I've been waiting for a long time, then that kind of becomes a Grail to you, because it's like, I hold this to the highest standard of like, I was hoping for this and I got it, you know?
Exactly. You know,
because I have
some, I have some in my collection where people would say, oh, because of the value, that's a Grail. And then I have others that I know people would say, yeah, that's not a Grail for me. But for me, it is, because it hits home with my childhood or a passion of mine. So,
and that's what these figures do for me, you know, like I was a prequel baby. So these films are very important to me. And because of that, they may be Grails to me, you know, but to other people, I mean, you can get them for retail. So again, it's all dependent upon what your definition of Grail is.
Exactly. Like, you know, and it's all on, like I said, it's on the person and the collector themselves too. Like we said, everybody is different. Even when people see figures that are announced, some people are like, "Oh man, that's a badass figure," and other people will say, "I think this is wrong with it. I don't like it." Because everybody sees things differently.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And that's the way you got to look at it, even with Grails. Is like everybody sees things differently.
Right, like HG is saying that these figures are a dream come true for him, and that's kind of how it is for me. But for some other people, they're like, I'm not a big prequel fan. There still are people that are just OT purists. They only like the original trilogy, and that's it. And they may not be super excited for these, or you may not be a Star Wars fan at all. But I think for most Star Wars fans, these releases are very special. So I could at least say that. Tremble Dust, you're driving me crazy, man. Don't you dare. Don't you put that on me. But honestly, you don't have to really say much to convince me because it's Anakin Skywalker. I'll probably get two. I didn't get two of the Clone Wars Anakin, but that's because I got the Anakin on the staff and I was like, that's enough, But for this one, I meant to slide in a second one.
This one I have to. I have no choice.
Yeah.
My mini.
This is a good reason not to have a choice though, because you get two Anakins out of it. I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, well, one for him, one for me, but it's all good.
I agree.
Single
He and
song
I
get to share. We share this hobby together. So
right. Yeah, single songwriter. Yeah, these, even if you don't like the prequels, like you said, like these are the parents of Luke and Leia. That kind of makes their importance very high in your collection if you're kind of a Star Wars completionist.
Yeah.
Kumar, how's it going, my friend? Good to see you. Kumar says Anakin is Star Wars. I need all versions of him. For Padme, Luke's my man. Luke's
Padme is
mom,
the first
a must
space
for me.
cougar. If you think about it, she's the first space cougar and the first space cradle robber, robber. She's a pram robber.
She's a pram robber. Natalie Portman, she's an angel. So even if the character completely sucked, which she did not, I love Padme as a character. Natalie Portman's an angel. All right, Sean. Thank you, CMB, for sharing your thoughts. Sean, kind of want to pose the same question to you. What are your thoughts on this Anakin Skywalker release? And then what are your thoughts on the question regarding these figures going up for pre-order now becoming future grails?
All right. So I want to touch real quick on the whole cougar thing for Padme first.
Oh, my God.
It's kind of funny. The mom liked younger men. Yet Leia went after older men.
Leia went after her own brother unknowingly.
Well, that's because if you look at it, look at who her adopted parents were. Her adopted father was a lot older than her adopted mother. So that's where she got the whole "I'm going."
That's true.
Where you got that whole thing going.
That's very true. Oh, TK
she was never really going after
Joker. Luke. Who in Art Joker Q1 2023? Huh. Hey, that's where I got mine from. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I canceled mine.
Look at Lane.
So it's not going to be till like February, March at the
right. I canceled mine. I refuse to support a company that's involved in certain things right now that are, very frowned upon legally.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, Sean, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so Anakin's really good. They did a great job on him. I want the final product. I don't want it to be touched. I want the final product to be
Ryan
exactly the same.
Yeah.
So I agree with Ryan on that. With the whole plug-in for the lightsabers, I think that's a good idea. Me personally, as a business perspective, I think they're trying to weed out somebody else out of business. I can't remember the name who makes them. The light up lightsabers.
There's a lot.
Yeah,
actually, a friend of mine has been doing it for a while on Facebook, and I know if Don's still here, Don had a gentleman that he worked with for a while that he really recommended his stuff. But
I bought one or two from other people that made them too.
There's a lot of people, and it's gonna probably, like you said, kind of slowly put that. I mean, now generally speaking, for the older stuff, they're still good, but obviously the newer stuff, it kind of defeats the purpose because theirs is it's probably kind of a similar design to what they're doing in their homes, so
right, but it gives them a reason to make money off of the previous product that they already have a mold for,
and
everything else, because it's no longer a reissue because it's a 2.0.
For sure.
Now I'm not going to say it's going to happen now or later, but we could see a New Hope Luke, but hopefully it's a New Hope Luke X-Wing pilot for Red 5. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
forget.
you already know, man. I'd buy every Luke, unless I don't buy the sequel trilogy Luke's, but every other original trilogy Luke, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Bespin
I want
Luke,
a
I'm excited
Porky.
for that one.
Give me Porky.
Dude, I get Porkins for sure. Yeah, guys, here's some little
Porky.
Hot Toys Hotline trivia. Do you guys remember when we called Sean Porkins when he put his helmet on? That was a great stream.
Yeah.
When he
that
had
was
his
such
Trapper
a
Wolf helmet
that was
on.
such a fun moment when Sean put that helmet on, and we all started. That was hilarious. But yeah, so
Yeah.
that Sean kind of created a meme. He made himself look like Porkins.
Did you guys
Yeah.
remember that one time when like Connor was always wrong and he was like just going through and his name was called Dirty Dishes and then he got caught on camera wearing his girlfriend's attire?
I don't.
That
We have
was fun too.
Kumar. Actually, Kumar's been here since the beginning. Kumar, did that ever happen, dude?
Oh wait, that was just the video you accidentally sent me.
Yeah,
Never mind,
here
that
we
did
go.
happen
Yeah,
live.
See, you got me, Kumar. Thanks for being here, man. Now,
Kumar's like, yeah, I've blacked that out. I don't remember.
he said Leia and Luke's kiss. It's the Force, man. The dyad got screwed. Yeah, that's such a. Even now, all these years later, looking back on it, it's so bizarre to me. It really is so bizarre
Well,
that's
it
like
just
a plot
tells you
point.
they did not originally have even by.
It was a
Empire Strikes
different
Back
time.
that
It was
one-
1977, but yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah,
I mean
man.
they did not.
Cocaine's
have,
a hell of a drug, bro.
No. Lucas did not have figured out that Leia was going to be his sister even by Empire Strikes Back. Like that's obvious now with some of the storytelling.
Right.
stuff
But
like
yeah,
that.
looking back
Yeah,
on it, you're like,
it-
oh.
yeah,
It does feel weird. Now it does feel a
He
little
didn't
bit
have
weird
it figured out
considering.
because his wife did. His wife is the one that made sure that Empire Strikes Back went off the way it did. It wasn't him.
Right.
It was his wife at the time. If it wasn't for her, it would have probably been even worse mess. She was the one that actually got it all.
I thought
like-
that was more A New Hope, not Empire Strikes Back.
It was also
You know what's
Empire
even
Strikes
worse?
Back. It was her doing that made sure that things were on track. It was George Lucas was just all over the place. It was her that actually like cemented things down.
Yeah.
See, I think for George Lucas, his creative mind process just moves so quickly.
So I'm
that
saying,
he
man, the
can't go
70s,
through and-
Kind of like
70s and
Stephen
80s,
King.
dude, cocaine's
Yeah.
a hell of a drug, bro.
Well,
What's even worse is in Return of the Jedi when they're having that dialogue on Endor, and he ends up saying like my sister, and they find out she's like somehow I've always known. It's like that makes it so.
Oh,
much
like you're
worse.
like, oh, really? You've always
Even
known, huh?
more
Interesting.
wrong because
Right.
remember when he gets the kiss, he puts his arms behind his head and everything. He's like, yeah. It's like, so if you kind of knew that was your sister, it's like
Yeah.
that Euro trip thing, dude. You made out with your sister.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
And that's why there's so many years between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, because Luke was in a lot of counseling.
Yeah.
That's why Luke
that's
went
true.
to that island by himself. He was traumatized. He had to work
Right.
through his own trauma. Like, oh my God, all those nights beating off to my sister.
Whoa. Here we're getting off topic. Penn says I'm late. As I always say, you're never late. You're always on time when you're showing up to the Hot Toys Hotline stream. Sean, before we go off on a tangent about Luke and Leia kissing, let's talk about this conversation with Future Grails. What are your thoughts on that? Especially because you follow the numbers so closely. What are your thoughts on like these figures going to waitlist early? What do you think the near future will tell for those figures? Do you think they'll restock those at some point, or do you think they really are slimming down the stock now?
Okay, so CNB and Lane have already heard me say this in the past too, but I agree with CNB that a grill is an individual person's, like what they want. Like, for example, a grill for me is the 1989 Batmobile.
Yeah.
Even if it's reissued, I'll get it, and I buy the reissue. That's still a grill for me.
Yeah.
And looking at other things too, it's each individual. Like right now, here's an example of what could happen. Right now, we have Captain Vaughn. Okay, he was in one episode of the Clone Wars and people bought him.
Yeah.
What if they go back through and like they made Star Wars The Clone Wars the 501st, and it was just all missions related to the 501st. And they did a couple seasons of that, which, Disney would make a lot of money off of that. And then they did clones. And then there's a part where Captain Vaughn like stars in that. And he's like an incredible character. All of a sudden, Captain Vaughn becomes a Grell.
Right. And they wouldn't make a figure of him again. That'd be it,
Yeah. I mean, they probably would if, he still has the same helmet and it's just a different paint job than the Ahsoka paint. I think. But I mean, you can get in a Grell and it's not a Grell yet. To you just bought it because you somewhat liked it, and then all of a sudden like something happened in Star Wars with that character and you're just like, wow.
Perfect example of something's happening right now. After we saw these promo photos for Anakin, who was in those photos? Count Dooku. So a lot of people that had that Count Dooku are really regretting selling it right now because that figure just shot up overnight. It was already like in the $350 to $400 range. But ever since he showed up in those promo photos, everybody's like, damn, I have to have Count Dooku. I need my Count Dooku back. So
and Nate actually, when I was doing the stream with him, Nate had his Dooku out, and it's a different Dooku. The hair color is not the same, and his cape is a lot lighter. So I think we both think that there's going to be a Dooku reissue.
See, when I was looking at the photos, it looked to me like just some heavy Photoshop. Like Ryan and I were looking at them together, and he kind of agreed with me. It looked like there was
heavily Photoshopped,
right? And also, like the cape, I don't think it was wired. I think it simply was just them kind of like putting it in place for photos, and maybe they altered it for the photos, but I don't know.
To me, it looks heavily Photoshopped.
Because you guys don't attend the Church of Geeking Out, and you have no faith. You heathens!
Listen, excuse me, pal.
Heresy,
I'm the definition of faith.
All of you.
I'm not gonna lie. I have Dooku.
I'm surrounded by heretics and
I have
blasphemers.
Dooku, and if they made another one, I would totally get it. Just so you could use him in another.
Right. If there's another Dooku, I'm gonna buy it.
But I don't think that
my
the promo. Do you have the shot? Do you have the photo?
We can pull it back up. Let me see. Give me one sec. Technical difficulties here. Let me see.
So I've looked at the picture of Dooku, and I'm not even sure.
The faithful. I attend the Church of Geeking Out.
But I don't think that cape is wired.
Like the same thing.
I don't think the cape's wired either.
I don't think it's wired either. I think the cape was staged for the photo. I think 100% was staged.
It doesn't look wired to me. Let me pull up the photo here.
Hey, Penny.
Say is when that Dooku comes back out, there's gonna be a lot of people burnt at the stakes.
Hey, they did the Yoda pretty quick.
I said I'd buy it if it came out. So
I'd buy it as well.
But all those creases there, all those creases look totally photoshopped or altered. That does not look a natural. That does not look like a Hot Toys stock wired cape the way they come. That's just my opinion. It looks too smooth. The creases just look artificially moved around. Like it doesn't look.
And it looks like it's stuck with tape between one.
Right. It looks like it's dolled up for the photo. I mean, people in the chat, feel free. I mean, you guys are looking at this with us as well.
Bashing it, why don't you?
But
fine, man. Just like there were people that said Mace Windu wasn't coming, but it's cool. It's cool.
Hey, I'm not saying it's different. I'm just saying the cape. I don't think the cape's wired.
When Dooku comes back out, I'm gonna have plenty of crow pie to serve Hot Toys Hotline and Mr.
Oh, you ain't serving me nothing. It doesn't look like
I was gonna say if I said I wasn't buying it, if I admit to buying it,
plenty.
Because I'm looking at the hair here, it doesn't look.
See,
it looks the same to me.
When he comes back out, I'm gonna change my name to Templar, and I'm coming after both of you.
Well, see, that's an example right there. All those photos. Well, all those photos right there have the cape all over the place, and it's not wired. So it's the same.
Right. I mean, let's go back here.
Him fighting Yoda. One with
that is not possible with the cape how it is. It's not possible. It's a drape cape. So obviously they've done the same thing here in these promo photos. So, and this is like the thing with the cape being wired is like such a common thing when people see little sneak images of old figures and photos. Like, oh, the cape's wired. It must be a new one. Obviously, you were saying that you think it looks different. To me, when I look at it, I don't think it looks different at all. I think it looks exactly the same, and I think the Photoshop is what is throwing.
And the lighting too on that, like that cape itself. I ever since the Loki thing, like the way the photos are, like these are heavily. I mean, they look heavily, edited. Where even though that cape looks lighter, I take it for a grain of salt on a photo because they edit stuff all the time to make it look as better as what it can be. So, trust, as I said, I'm on the record saying if another Dooku came out, I'll get
Right.
it.
I don't think it's impossible. What I'm saying is based on the photos, it doesn't look different to me.
There's not enough there for me to decide it's a 2.0.
Right.
And Yoda is photoshopped also.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like
George
Sean, you're so...
No, I thought Yoda had wires. Mine has, at least in the sleeves and stuff, like right there.
It's not.
Looks good.
It's
It's
not
not
that
wired.
substantial. No. Towards the bottom there, I don't think it's wired at all. I'd have to check, but I mean, I haven't.
Like mine can't do that.
But yeah, so I mean, they do this often, right? Because it
Dooku's
makes
coming.
it makes the
There's gonna be
figures
another
look cool.
Dooku. It'll be an
Yeah,
easy
'cause they
cash
gotta
grab
sell
because
them.
they can capitalize on the USB lightsaber for Dooku. Easy cash grab.
Well,
Watch
all they
that
have to
happen.
do is put Dooku with the super battle droid, and that's it. Or they can
coming.
get a battle
Or-
droid and put the orange or yellow circle on it and make it a commander battle
So-
droid.
What
then
size
it's
shoe
good.
do you wear again,
Me?
So
Connor? Because I want to see how much of his shoe is going to fit in his mouth.
no, yeah, you're not. Look. Let's
Hostility.
let's compare, like, let's say like Sean and Lane, like the ultimate false prophets. I am a false prophet and God is a superstition. If you guys know that movie, 10 points. If you know what movie that is, in the comments. But what I'm saying is, when I look at those photos, I'm not seeing a Count Dooku 2.0 or even like a slightly modified version of the original one. It looks the same to me. I'm not saying that I think it's unlikely, because Hot Toys is in reissue mode right now. So if anything,
Yeah, but the thing is, where I would disagree, not to cut you off, but are they in Star Wars reissue mode? Believe it or not, I think Star Wars is probably the least reissued. And I think even Denobi was talking about that.
no, not necessarily. Yeah, they're not necessarily in Star Wars reissue.
They're not
mode, but-
Marvel. They'll reissue all day, but Star Wars seems to really get the treatment of not getting reissued or 2.0 as often as what people think when it comes to legitimate characters. I'm not talking troopers or
right.
anything.
The only thing we have to keep into account is these anniversary boxes are what gives them the right to be like, oh, here's another one. I mean, look what they did with Empire Strikes Back. Here you go. Here's Boba, the same exact Boba again. Here's the same exact Vader again. So CMB, before we get to the shoe talk, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying, based on the photos, it doesn't look like a different figure to me. No,
Here,
they may very well just issue the exact same figure and
Here,
just
I
give
have
it,
your,
like you said, with a USB saber.
I have your Revenge of the Sith Dooku 2.0 right here, just ahead. That's all. There it is.
Oh,
Where's his
perfect.
hands? You're supposed to have head and hands.
Perfect.
No. I don't feel like taking the hands off.
Perfect. All right, guys, but Sean,
Can I finish my answer?
Yeah,
then?
I was gonna say finish what you were saying, then we'll move on to Padme.
All right. So, and then the part of your question about the waitlist situation and everything. Is it possible Hot Toys is lowering the amount of releases that they're going to give to the people? Yes, I think it is. However, I also believe it's possible that we can get everything, it gets released, and then Sideshow can come out and claim, yeah, we had a lot of cancellations, so we still received shipment, and now this is back. Now this is in stock that was previously waitlisted, and just, or they could be going through and they're going to send notification to everyone who's waitlisted for something,
Yoda is
saying,
wired.
"Hey, it's here."
He's wired towards the
Yeah.
bottom.
I'm holding him, and his sleeves. His sleeves and the whole bottom is wired.
Like the actual bottom seam, or the left and right side of the robe.
They're both sides.
Collecting Madness has madness. He has empty detox.
All right, so we stand corrected on that, but still the Dooku cape was Photoshopped regardless. That's our main point. Is Dooku cape was Photoshopped. But I just wanted to say what's up to Cult of V. Haven't seen V here in a while. I hope you're doing well, my friend. He's talking about Bespin Luke. Yeah, so Bespin Luke was probably the most recent reissue, and that one obviously was long overdue because that figure originally
That's not a reissue though.
Well,
That
it's a
is
2.0, of
complete
course.
2.0. So we can't refer to that in the same subject as a reissue.
Right, but
Uh-oh.
the original figure came out in 2013, so that one was kind of long overdue. And also, Howard's favorite character, he's on record saying his favorite character is Luke, so that one was kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. No, it's Luke. Anakin obviously is up there because of the relationship between Anakin and Luke. But yeah, he's on record saying Luke is his favorite character, so I'm not surprised we got that one. Yeah. Hey, here's the thing. If we get a 2.0 of Dooku or not, it's irrelevant to me because I already have them. But I hope that you guys are able to get them. That's not right now, you guys, all my faith and hope is in Mace Windu. I gotta take it one step at a time. Mace Windu. Once we get him out of the way, once he's announced, then I'll put my faith in the next big figure. But that's like that Ironmonger 2.0. That's the one I'm really hoping for. But yeah, let's get Mace Windu out of the way.
Right now, they're just teasing you to the day you die.
I guess so. Bespin hand never got made. Yeah, unfortunately, no. But hey, if we get that Indiana Jones figure for the new Indy 5 movie, then maybe there is hope for a Han Solo figure once again. I thought there was no hope, but hey, it seems like he's playing nice with Disney, so we'll see. Penn says, laughable that people think Dooku is in the same level of reissued Desire at Vader versus Boba. They haven't even reissued Anakin. Well, Penn, the thing is like, it's the boxes that are enabling them to do this. And also, and again, I'm like in the middle of this. I don't 100% think that this is a new Dooku and that we're going to get another one, but I don't think it's impossible. Anything is possible. The thing is, though, is the original Dooku didn't sell very well either. So I don't know how much of Hot Toys wants to put their cards in that, because they're tired of seeing stuff sitting. Maybe they'll kind of think twice about doing that. But then you look at like She-Hulk and you're like, oh, maybe they don't really care at this point. But let's get into Padme, guys. We'll address some of the comments in a little bit, but we've spent, this is how important this Anakin figure is, guys. We've spent like a little over an hour just on Anakin, but let's get into Padme. So I want to try to move through this quickly as we go down the panel. But guys, Padme, this one actually was also very positive, I think, from the community. There were some people that were saying they thought the head sculpt was about 80% there. And I don't agree with that personally. I think this head sculpt, this is ridiculous, by the way. It's cool that they included it, but I don't think anybody's going to. If you guys have seen Game of Thrones.
Yeah. That's right.
I forgot that character's name, the one that poisoned Joffrey. Right.
Yeah, the mother. Who's the mother?
Right.
The grandmother, I think, or whoever it is. Yeah.
Right. The grandmother of the king's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot her name, but that's what it's reminding me of. But it's really cool. It's kind of a nod to the Clone Wars.
When I saw it.
Well, it is a nod to the Clone Wars. Yeah, that's what it is.
It is a little weird looking at it and kind of figure like live action form though a little bit.
Right. Like I don't think anybody's going to use that, but it is cool that it comes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it allows you to
not the Shame Bell woman, the grandmother that poisoned Joffrey.
Oh yeah.
The Shame Bell woman does have a similar headpiece though. Yeah. Now that I think of it,
this is just like from one of like the episodes with the. I forget what the blue-skinned alien senator like she was with and stuff on an ice world and stuff. It's a weird look.
I like that, Violet. Day 2 pre-order. It's not a day 1 pre-order. It's a day 2 pre-order. The head sculpt does look great.
I'm of the opposite with the head sculpt.
What are your thoughts on the head sculpt, Lane?
Kick them off.
I think it's like maybe an 8 out of 10. It's definitely better than the original one that they had with the old prototype. Like better, way better than that. But some of the look and think it's still, and it could be the same. I think Natalie Portman is a little bit like Mark Hamill. It is his just face is just a little bit hard to get. I don't think it looks terrible, but to me, it's between 7 and 8 out of 10. Now, and maybe I'm.
You lost me with 7. I was there with you for 8.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was holding with you on 8, but then when you went to 7,
7.5.
Nah, 7. You lost me on anything 7.
Yeah, you're disrespectful.
No, I mean, it's just
that looks like it right there, man.
Some of the angles, I don't know. I've not seen it completely. That being
even
said,
there, like
it. Well, see, the thing is that when we talk about these two. This is the one I would like to see some improvement of between now and the final, whereas the Anakin is just keep it as close as you can to what there is. And it may not be fair, too, is because we're seeing it with the Anakin, which looks
so let's
as close to dead on as practically.
Since Single Songwriter brought up MRC, let's take a look at his actual video of the Padme because you get to see her a little bit better. Because that's the other thing about these photos. You could if you look at the lighting on the face, and a lot of them there's some really high bright white lighting, and on some other ones there's like a yellow light, and where she looks a lot better.
I will say for the rest of this, because I had already taken a look at some high def pictures. Someone had gone to Secret Base and taken some pictures I had asked them to. I think she looks better from that angle and stuff like that, but I'm still not I think it's because I'm comparing her to the Anakin Skywalker which I think is like a 9.5 out of 10, like almost as dead on as you could almost be in 6 scale with the facial sculpt for Hayden Christensen. However, that being said, that is the only thing I have anything negative at all to think about this figure. I think the outfit, I think the accessories, I think the tailoring, like all that stuff with this figure, especially, I don't know why, but I really like the boots and how they were done.
Oh yeah, they look great, and it looks like there's a separation
and the
as
weapons,
well, which is nice.
I think he shows maybe her gun, like, the silver gun, the more Nabooan,
her little like noisy cricket from Men in Black.
Yeah, the more Nabooan weaponry and stuff like that she's using. So this is still a figure, I think, for $270 that even if that's what the facial sculpt looked like at the end and stuff, I would still say completely worth getting. But I think that she is, to me, much weaker than the Anakin. That doesn't mean I don't think she doesn't look better than some of the other facial sculpts. Like if I compare her to some from this year, like I would probably say that maybe for me in the long term, I might look at her how I ended up looking at Cable. Once you've heard me how much I like Cable. Actually, I physically got in him in hand. I think she very well could be a similar thing to me. Is once you actually, I mean, we're talking obviously a little ways away here, but when I physically have her in hand, I might just go, "Wow, she's much better." Than I was thinking.
Like for me personally, I'm seeing this one and I'm like, this is a home run. It's.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect your opinion, but for me personally, like 7 isn't even part of the conversation for me personally. Like I'm this one, I'd give at least a 9, at least. It's obviously not as perfect. It's not as perfect as Anakin, but I think 7 is too low.
Because I never give anything a 10. So like Anakin to me is still like a 9.5.
See, and that's the thing. Like I don't like to either because that means that there's no room for improvement. But that Anakin, like I really have to like give it to him in terms of like how hard they worked on that sculpt. And I really do think that Anakin may be a 10 for me if it retains its prototype look. It very well may be a 10.
And even if basically, like I said, Anakin's the one. If you can just try and keep it at the level we've seen it. And not have any other goofy things, that sometimes they do with their figures, and you go, why later? Right. Then I think you're fine. Padme to me, the facial sculpt needs improvement. I think it does need to be improved a little bit. But like I said, and I may be being a little bit too harsh when I say, I mean, it's
beauty is in the eye beholder at the end of the day. Like not everybody sees the
terrible.
Same thing.
It's not a terrible
for me. Like I think it's right where it needs to be. And if this is what we get for the final product, I'll be super happy.
Then it'll probably end up.
Yeah. And so it's funny that I was going to bring this up as well. And I think a lot of us on the panel would agree. It's very unfortunate that we didn't get like the crop top look from the arena fight scene or like the battle damage look as well. I was a bit disappointed by that. I was hoping we would get a swap out. With that being said, does that stray me away from the figure? No. I could see a lot of people buying an extra shirt and cutting it and making a custom, kind of like what Single Songwriter said. He's gonna cut the shirt and the sleeve to make the battle damage arena look. That would have been the perfect scenario for me. I think probably part of it for them was exposing that stomach area. They have to kind of focus in more on how that stomach area looks so it looks realistic. And that might have made them have to use a seamless body, which they could have done. They could have done a seamless body.
Might have made it more expensive, though, too.
Of course, yeah. Like stuff like that does drive up the price. But also, I mean, maybe in the future they'll do like an exclusive. Who knows? Who knows how crazy they'll go with the Natalie Portman likeness since they've done 2 figures now with Natalie Portman's likeness. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying Millie Bobby Brown. I don't see it. I really don't. I have a Millie Bobby Brown figure. I have 11 from Stranger Things, and I'm like, I don't see it. And I'm a big fan of Stranger Things. I really don't see it, but.
It's definitely not the Obi-Wan from Obi-Wan facial sculpt.
No, I do think in terms of the facial sculpt inaccuracies, that's probably the worst one recently. That Obi-Wan sculpt isn't terrible at every angle, but it's not great. Like that needs a lot of work.
That's Matt Damon.
Right. That we're talking 7s and 6s there. I would agree with you there. That one's definitely a 7 or below, it needs some work. And I've had a lot of time to look at that one. I'm like, yeah, because we've seen what Hot Toys can do. Look at these head sculpts, and look at Reva. Look at all of these recent head sculpts, like Crosshair. That's a beautiful head sculpt. A lot of people are forgetting about Crosshair. I sure haven't. That Crosshair head sculpt's beautiful, man.
I just wanted to also say real quick, I'm loving that it's not just DXs anymore that are getting these. eyeballing like the roll system
Yeah.
or whatever,
They seem to
because
make
that
it more of a
plays a
standard.
huge role in the likeness. Like that's literally when you look at a person's eyes, it's like you can tell it's them. So to not have a stuck position of the eyes is huge.
Helps
Yeah,
a
you,
lot.
you know what figure kills me is the Return of the Jedi Deluxe Luke that I have. I hate that the eyes are looking to the side. I hate it. I hate that the eyes are looking to the side. I think it like you said, the someone's likeness, it's a lot of their likeness is in the eyes. And also when you're posing a figure, obviously having the option to rotate the eyes and look in which direction you want is amazing. And the only unfortunate thing is I feel like because a lot of these features are making their way into the DX, the normal line from the DX line, it kind of waters down the DX line even more. And that's why we've seen recently a lot of the DX releases. Apart from, I think the DX Vader release is definitely a DX. It comes with alternate looks. I think that's a DX for sure. But a lot of these DX releases recently have been kind of watered down. And I think now that they're introducing that, though I'm very happy that they're doing it, I want to see them kind of do something different now for the DX line, because obviously before it's like, oh, everything that's DX has the rolling eyeballs. A lot of times it was a second body with an alternate look. So I would like to see them kind of take another look at that DX line and make some changes to it. So apparently I haven't looked myself. Someone was saying on Sideshow, it says that she comes with the chains. I haven't looked though in the description.
That's what I was hoping for, but I didn't see it.
A pair of
Like,
metal silver armbands.
That's what's on her bicep.
Yeah, that's not the chains. Yeah, I saw someone say that it came with chains, but I'm not seeing it unless
I think this is supposed to be earlier in the movie episode too.
Right. This would have been long before she had the chains on,
It's
because
like
this is
droid factory stuff.
right. And I mean, obviously she's very clean as well. When in the arena scene, she was in sand and getting dirtied up and stuff. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people are buying two just to battle damage one.
Yeah, I could see that. And TX Boy makes a good point. Them adding these USB lightsabers and the rolling eyeballs, it does kind of help you justify that price. Because obviously it's becoming harder and harder to justify the price. And to see that they're like, okay, well, we know that we're raising the prices, but we're giving you more for your money. I do like to see that. I do like to see that. Yeah.
You know, with like
Go ahead,
how the
John.
whole chain thing and everything. If Sideshow really wanted to capitalize something right now, they would let Hot Toys do the 1/6 figures, and they would go back to doing the 1/6 diorama pieces for Star Wars. And then,
Sideshow
like,
did
for
some
the
really
chain
cool
and
stuff,
everything
man.
example, they could do those like a set with those towers at the arena.
That'd be
Attack
so
of the
cool.
Clones.
Maybe like a Nexu, like a polystone Nexu creature in the background. Obviously, it's not posable, but that'd be really cool.
I mean, they could do something, and because they're still doing statues for Star Wars, because their figures that Book of Boba Fett, the
Remote
Battle
control.
Damaged Boba Fett, that
Right.
statue had so much promise, and then the final product looked like crap with the paint job on the armor. With their premium format statue, if they just go back to environments, because a lot of people want something like to display with their figures.
And they did such a great job on them. I mean, look at like the Yoda hut. That's a huge grail for a lot of people.
I mean, I have the Yoda hut. I have Jabba's throne. I have the Luke on carbonite with the polystone background, along with the other one where you can float for Empire Strikes Back. I have both.
Which is
of
all
those.
really cool stuff.
I have the one with the archway for it. I mean, they're G.I. Joe display diorama pieces too, like the Winter Outpost, the
I haven't seen
Cobra
G.I.
Commander's
Joe
throne, stuff like that was actually really good. Like they had the Red Ninja Dojo. I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's something with the Arashikage. But anyways, they could do all that and have them prepped and ready to go.
And then they're not competing with Hot Toys for the Star Wars stuff, because that's kind of like a losing battle, you know?
Exactly.
There's no point in because you're not going to win. I mean, look at so I want to say this too while we're talking about this. Equan. So I will say, I really do enjoy the Sideshow stuff that's not Star Wars. the Star Wars stuff, I've only owned the General Grievous, but I've seen some of the other stuff in person. I love the Crow recently, the Eric Draven, the Crow figure that was recently released. That's fantastic. I think a lot of the horror figures are really well done. I think they have someone else who manufactures their Star Wars stuff because it looks like it's manufactured by someone else. It's all laid out differently in the boxes. It's different packaging. I really do think someone else is doing the Star Wars stuff. If not, another team within the same manufacturer, because it just doesn't get the same love as their other, like even like the Clint Eastwood figures that are coming out. Those look fantastic. The dude figure. So it's not, I don't want to say everything across the board. I think Sean kind of hit the nail on the head. Maybe they should take a step back from the Star Wars figures and focus on like Star Wars environments, because that's what they were always good at. I mean, even some of their most popular figures were worked on by Hot Toys, the clones. They worked with Hot Toys on those. That wasn't all Sideshow. They had Hot Toys manufacture the armor and stuff for those. So I would agree with Sean. I would love to see them do that stuff again. But back to Padme. You guys know my thoughts on it. I think this figure is fantastic. I'm a big fan of the sculpt. I kind of want to quickly go down the line so we can move on to some other stuff, but I'm very, very excited about these guys. I think Padme is long, long overdue. We've waited at least 3 years to get this. So this is very exciting. It's a very exciting time to be a Star Wars Hot Toys collector for sure, especially knowing that we have a super battle droid and Mace Windu right around the corner as well. These Attack of the Clones displays are really filling in. And someone had mentioned earlier, I'm sorry, I forgot who it was. They had asked, what figures do I think they need to prioritize when it comes to pre-ordering? Last I checked, I know that the limit of 3 was assigned to C-3PO and I think all of the clone troopers. I know R2-D2 is still a limit of 6, so you have a bit of time for him for sure. But me personally, I know Ryan just dropped his pre-order for C-3PO. I'm going to probably...
I just checked. As of tonight, C-3PO is still 3, R2 is 6.
Okay, so C-3PO would probably be my priority first, even before Anakin and Padme, obviously, because they just went up for pre-order. C-3PO, I would prioritize, not saying you have to pre-order him now, but keep an eye on him, because as those limits go down, that means that the stock is beginning to dwindle, because originally C-3PO was a limit of 6. So keep an eye on that for sure. But yeah, would anybody else like to share their thoughts on Padme? Ryan, would you like to share your thoughts on Padme? I think I already know what you're going to say. But
yeah, obviously day one pre-order for me got the same as I pre-ordered them together, actually.
Me too.
I think it's fantastic. The thing about the sculpt, I think the sculpt's it's in the 9s for me, 100%. Here's my take about it. I would rather, if so, argument of it should be refined. I would rather them leave the sculpt as is versus them taking the chance of quote unquote fixing it or adding more and messing the sculpt up. That's me.
That does happen sometimes.
Oh, I think Loki was honestly an example where, like, if they would have kept, like, honestly, if you go back to the Loki, sculpt, the prototype now looking back on the original one, I don't think was that bad compared to what we got. I think if they leave this one as is, they're going to have a lot of satisfied customers. I think if they start messing with it, well, let's see if we can just do a little bit here. It could throw off the whole thing.
Yeah, and
leave it as is. Everyone's happy. Ship it out. Make your money. Have a nice day. It's really easy.
Exactly. And like Lane said, it could be even that Lane's kind of skeptical on the sculpt. He said it could be one of those figures where you get it in hand and you're like, oh, I actually like that.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Even if some people are a little critical of it, you never know.
100%.
Now, Cable was a perfect example.
I will say there is one or two photos skipping through where the likeness is like, like that looks like her. There was one or two other photos where I was like, different angle, whatever. That wasn't as like that looks like her. I think it looks just like her.
Like this one here, and that was big change in the lighting as well.
Yeah, exactly. The head placement on it looks
better looking than the old one they showed.
The old one was bad.
Yeah, no, this is like that shot's great.
Yeah, they've really improved it since then.
But as I said, that shot is perfect. Perfect. As I said, if you gave me the option of leave it as is or let Hot Toys tinker with it and maybe you'll get something better, leave it as is. That's me. Yeah. Leave it as is.
Lane, we heard your thoughts. CMB, what are your thoughts on Padme?
I think it's a great figure. When I was discussing this last time with Nate, that like we both agree that the head sculpt's like an 80%. So if they can improve it, then it would be, obviously appreciated. But if not, then like what everybody else is saying, just leave it be. If you can try to see if you can upgrade it to make it look a little bit better, but if you can't, then leave it alone and don't try to force it and give us something that people are going to be upset about once you get the final product in hand type
Right.
of deal. Because just looking at the promos, obviously it's the lighting and things like that, but there are certain angles when you look at it, you're like, wow, that head sculpt's really off. And then there's other photos you look at it and you're like, wow, that is Natalie Portman. So it's one of those head sculpts where it looks like it's 80%, but if they can get it better and fine tune it, then obviously that's greatly appreciated. But if not, then just leave it be. Don't try to come at it like they did with Endgame.
Like, it doesn't
Loki.
need a complete rework, is what you're saying. It just,
Exactly.
She actually
in your
looks better
opinion-
with the scarf on.
Oh no.
Not that. No, not the headpiece, but like around her neck.
No,
like that.
I dude, this is how I'm displaying it. I love this.
Like, she looks better. Like the likeness looks better with that look than
and
without
part
it
of it is, of course, part of the likeness, lending yourself to a good likeness, is the neck as well, because obviously the neck length also can throw off.
But that, like, that's how I'm going to
stuff.
display mine, like that.
I just love the look with the poncho scarf piece, the cape poncho scarf hybrid.
If you zoom in on her cape, it is literally a microfiber fleece.
I was about to say, it looks very comfortable, doesn't it?
Yeah, dude, it's a microfiber fleece bed sheet.
That's
I
hilarious.
feel warm looking at it.
Her hands look
I
great.
was looking at that, and I went upstairs and looked at my bed because I had microfiber fleece bed sheets. I was like, oh my god,
I love the
that's a bed
sass
sheet.
here. I love the sass here. I think it's interesting too. Single songwriter was saying her lips look like they have lipstick on them, and they definitely do. It's very impressive, and they even have like a bit of wetness to them to kind of sell that look. Joe P, yeah, I day one pre-ordered these as well, and I don't do that very often anymore, but yeah, these were ones I was really, really excited for. So congrats on that. I'm sure you're really excited like I am if you day one pre-ordered them. Leighton says he rewatched all the Star Wars movies in order over the last few weeks. I actually really enjoyed Attack of the Clones. Yeah, so Attack of the Clones for me is definitely the weakest of the prequels, but that doesn't mean I don't love the film. I still love the film, corniness and all. Phantom Menace obviously was the first Star Wars film that I saw in theaters, so that one's always got a special place in my heart. And I feel like a lot of people, the disrespect for the Phantom Menace is just immense sometimes from some people. Me personally, I love that film. It's a very pivotal film. You get to see Anakin's kind of transition from a child into who he eventually becomes, and that's the start of all that. So it's very, very important to Star Wars as a whole, and it has some great moments in it. I mean, CMB is our resident impressionist of Watto, so CMB likes the Phantom Menace. But,
I like it,
dude. It's scary how spot on your impression.
Get out of here! I don't like it. Credits, give me credits.
I feel like if they ever do another show set in that time frame, they should definitely hire you for Watto. Just saying, you should definitely try out for that.
I'll work for Hot Toys. That's it. Don't even.
Oh, that'd be amazing. They're like, yeah, we need you for a Watto figure commercial.
Sweet.
You're like, I'll take it. There you are. Mojo, how behind are you, dude? Yes, you got your 10 points. I don't mean to steal Denobi's thing, but it's just points are just such a generic thing to reward people with. But yes, the reference that I mentioned earlier is from There Will Be Blood. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. Mojo, I don't know if you must be super behind because that was like 15 minutes ago I said that. But if you're just catching up, that's okay. But yeah, you get your points there. 10 points for you. Yes, her poncho does look like the film. The materials, it's beautiful. I think this outfit, the tailoring is incredible. I love it. I'm a huge fan of it. But Sean and Chris, we'll move on to Sean and Chris. Sean, what are your thoughts on Padme?
I'm gonna get her. She looks really good with the face sculpt, everything. How I'm gonna score it, I don't know how to score it. But I am going to pose her with the scarf as well. Not that head wrap.
It's thing. Is anybody, let me ask you guys this. Anybody in the chat going to display your Padme with that Clone Wars headpiece?
Oh, no.
Dude, it's like, who's going to display their Anakin with that robotic arm? It's like, it's going to be a very rare used accessory. It's cool to have it. I'm not going to lie. I'm one of those people. It's like, I like the fact that I own it, but I'm never going to use it.
It's too nice of a sculpt to cover up.
Right, and it's not the psionic shield that comes with cable. Like that's like a big accessory, but it's I don't know, not something I would ever use. Yeah, and single songwriter, I've mentioned that many times. Hot Toys is getting really good with the sculpted hair, like to the point where there's so many individual hairs sculpted in, it looks like rooted hair.
Yeah. That's what I thought the first time I saw that photo. I was like, "What the hell is that rooted hair?" you can see where it like looks like bumpy and like the hair is raised up, like like it's rooted hair, and it's hasn't
It's
been
impressive, man.
finely tuned type of deal.
Right. It's like I don't think none of these companies can compete with Hottoys in terms of their sculpted hair. Even in art, I think they have a long way to go with their sculpted hair. Obviously, the rooted hair looks fantastic from what we've seen in the prototype photos, but I think they need to improve on the sculpted hair for sure. But yeah, Sean, I totally agree, man. I'm really excited for this one. And I know you're especially excited because you're such a fan of the clones. You could make a really amazing display with the clones in these two figures. Like it, and Sean, you have the room to where once we get Mace Windu and maybe eventually we'll get that Kit Fisto, who knows, you could probably replicate that scene. And you're over here talking about Sideshow making like those pillars and everything. You really could probably replicate that scene in a mini form. And I love that scene. Right, exactly, the arena fight scene. And I love that scene so much, especially because we talked about this actually, I think, last stream about Samuel L. Jackson wanting the purple lightsaber because he wanted to stand out in that scene. So to be able to replicate that would be pretty incredible.
Well, see, that's why I kept all my displays with the bottom half of it completely open up to be able to do anything. If I wanted to hang something from the middle or go through, if I wanted to get bust, which I do have one on order, or replicate like an entire scene, like the Jabba on throne fits in there pretty good, and then I can have stuff on a shelf behind it, and then that area is set. So that's the whole purpose of it, was to be able to replicate things or get bust with it.
Yeah, I feel you. It's cool. It's nice to have. I mean, I'm feeling it right now. It's nice to have all this extra space. I felt so cramped with my details because my collection just outgrew them. So I kind of feel what you're feeling right now with all that extra space. It feels good, And sorry, Mojo, by the way, I'm so sorry. I stand corrected. I did not see your comment originally, but still, you get your points. I did not see your comment, but I think you were the only one that caught that. Again, that's one of my favorite films of all time. I'm actually finally diving into the third-party world to get There Will Be Blood figure. There's a third-party. It's called the Petroleum Man. And it's basically the scene where he gets covered in oil when the oil well erupts and his son goes deaf and everything. So I'm excited to get that figure. Yeah, can you believe it's been a year since No Way Home came out? Such an amazing pivotal film, and I don't think anything that's released after that in terms of Marvel has topped it, not even close. And I loved Multiverse of Madness, but it's like No Way Home was so good, I kind of had to put Multiverse of Madness down a tier, Joe says my prequel and Clone Wars figures are my favorite display by far. Dude, it's hard for me because I'm looking at this. You can briefly see behind me. I'm looking at this. After I got these new displays, my most complete display, in my opinion now, is this original trilogy, A New Hope display. Because you could see, like, here's my Empire Strikes Back stuff, A New Hope, down here, Return of the Jedi. And I didn't realize how complete my New Hope collection was until I put them in a display together as a film. Obviously, in the details, I had them individually set up in certain scenes, but it's hard to say. I obviously love my Revenge of the Sith display because it's one of my favorite Star Wars films, but I don't know. The New Hope shelf is just so complete. I'm kind of really digging it, But Chris, before we move on from Padme, I want to hear your thoughts on this Padme. And if you want to, I know Sean opted out, but if you would like to, give the sculpt a rating.
I would probably agree with Lane's first opinion of it, about an 8.5, I would even say. I definitely see where people are talking about that.
Don't say Millie Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown likeness. And once I heard it, though, you can't unsee it. And it is certain angles of her. But then again, there's like spot on, smack dead, like Natalie Portman in there. So it's a weird thing with these. But then when you look at MRC's video, it's 100% Natalie Portman. So I don't know.
So do you think that it maybe is the
like
photos?
Right there? Go back. If you go back, that one looks like the Millie one to me the most. Every time I see it.
See, I can't see it though because I've adored Natalie Portman for so long. I just see Natalie Portman here, and I watch Stranger Things. I'm a big fan of Stranger Things. Like I said, I've seen a lot of people saying it. I just don't see it personally, but yeah, I mean, MRC's video definitely does it a lot more justice. And I think that happens very often with these prototype photos. They're hit or miss for sure.
Yeah, but I pre-ordered her day one together with Anakin, like you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely copping her. I think she's a must, and I also think there's a lot of people like she's kind of underrated in a way, but it's like at the end of the day, she gave birth to the hero that we see in that original trilogy. And then what also threw it even more is when you tie all the films together, like I've said before, it's like poetry and it rhymes and you're actually paying attention and the mirror images from the prequels to the original trilogy and then even the Kenobi series where Obi-Wan was talking about her to Leia.
Right.
So, and she just has a strong head. She's a good female representation in the collection. So,
Yeah.
Must have.
I agree, dude. It's going to be really awesome. Penn, by the way, take that back. You have to watch Stranger Things. It's an excellent show. Definitely, in my opinion, the best show Netflix has ever put out.
Agreed.
And probably will be for a long time. But yeah, so guys, we're going to move on from Padme. I think you guys can get a general idea of what our thoughts are on these new figures. We're really excited. Of course,
Also,
we mentioned... Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. Because you're used to seeing her, I guess, as 11. If you look out at her outside of 11,
I've seen like TV. I still don't see it.
Different playing in Stranger Things.
No, I trust me. I've seen like TV appearances and stuff. I just don't see it personally. I like again. I've been a fan of Natalie Portman for so long. When I see this sculpt, I'm looking at Natalie Portman. I don't like.
Same here.
It was the same with the John Cena thing with
Okay,
Katie
that one
Sackhoff.
I didn't see at all,
but everyone was saying that they did. You know what I mean? And I didn't see that either because I've seen Katie Sackhoff plenty of times, and I know what she looks like, you know. But
it's mostly like maybe the cheek area and the lip area. It's like if you cut it off, and you can kind of do a weird thing with your eyes where you're not looking at the whole. Then you can kind of see.
Yeah, see, I don't
through it. It's weird.
I don't, you know how I am with stuff. I don't get that into it to where I need to like cut off half the face and be like, oh, okay, I do see Millie Bobby Brown. It's like I either do or I don't, and I see Natalie Portman. I really do. But I know that's a popular opinion that everybody's saying Millie Bobby Brown, but we're going to move on, guys. We have a Marvel figure here that was actually released pretty early. So early, in fact, that Sideshow just sent out emails of them shifting the payments up a little bit because they have to correspond with the new release date, which is supposedly the first month of next year. Yes, the Spider-Man movie promo battling version from No Way Home is being released now. This figure is pretty incredible. If you had the upgraded suit, it's not too terribly different from what you already had. This is basically just the upgraded suit that's a little dirtied up and has some extra cool, but extra accessories.
I was going to say for this, since we've got like the Amazing Spider-Man, the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the integrated suit Spider-Man, this needs to be just make it easier for everybody. This is the smudgy Spider-Man.
The smudgy Spider-Man. So as CMB and Lane pointed out to me before we started, the reason this is called the movie promo edition is this is based on a movie poster. So I thought maybe that had been like a scene or something that was shown that didn't end up making it in the movie, like in a trailer or something. No, it is based on the a movie poster promoting the movie. So that's why it's called the movie promo version. Makes sense. But yeah, so when you actually see this suit in the film, it's torn up and damaged in that way, but it's not smudged like this. And with that being said, this is really cool.
I don't think they could have done tears in it and stuff like that anyway with one of the Spider-Man suits so much either.
I feel like they definitely could have, but
they can definitely do it. Go and watch Iron Daddy based in South Korea. He does custom work, and he's done a bunch of he's done the Far From Home Spider-Man. He did it all torn up, dirtied. It looked like straight out of the movie, and he showed that you can actually do tears in the suit and still make it, still have it, be posable and not worry about it falling apart on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he does some sick.
He does some, like that Thanos he did where he was fading away from the snap was amazing.
Like all the suit ups that you see Hot Toys doing with Iron Man, he did those. And Hot Toys literally saw that he did it, so that's why.
And they made it a thing, yeah.
They went and they did it. Because every single one that they're releasing that's suiting up, Iron Daddy already did way in advance.
Right.
So, they've hit him up before, too, for custom work, because they've seen what he can do. So, he's been He's had his work showcased, like when Hot Toys does, when they invite the custom people to do stuff and then they put it on display.
He
at
has
one
like
of their
events and stuff. Yeah, Iron
Yeah.
Daddy has had his own events many times, which is pretty crazy to see. But
Yeah, in the
yeah,
it's
he's
usually like
impressive.
it's at the Seoul Mall where his events will be showcased,
Mhm.
and he's even got like a restaurant or a store or something like that where all of his custom pieces are actually there on display.
Right. Yeah, Penn. So I got an email that said that they were going to be sending me another email within 24 hours reflecting my new payment plan, how it was shifted. I don't know if that's the email you're referring to, but I did get that one actually right before we went live. Single Songwriter says the base is perfect for the Green Goblin. Yeah, dude, I think this base is I think I would dare to even say this base could be used for Batman and would look really, really nice with a Batman figure.
It can, man. It's like that meme where they're all like hanging off the edge. It's like you got
Right.
15 minutes per person.
Or even another figure that it could work with is Eric Draven, the Crow. So there's a lot of different figures that you can put on this base. So even if you don't want it for your Spider-Man and you're just buying this for the cube and the look of the suit, you could definitely use that base for a lot of different stuff.
Yep.
Batman.
Batman, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Batman would look great on that base. Peyton said he canceled the figure a while back, but it looks cool. I think this is great. And again, I mentioned this earlier to Ryan backstage, but this is very similar to the upgraded suit. It just is dirty essentially and comes with different accessories. And Ryan was saying that maybe he might end up getting rid of his in favor of this one. And I would say like you really only need one or the other. You know what I mean? Because it's basically the same figure.
Yep.
So you really have to determine if those extra accessories and like the kind of the
The
dirty
only thing about the
worth it
suit,
too.
which I hate, I know it sounds so silly, but it's just classic, is on the waistline on the one, he has like those black squares or whatever they are. Like it's not like the belt area, it's not seamless like it is here. Like it's more not, this is more classic.
Yeah.
So I mean the look of that. But yeah, I'm probably gonna hold on to the one that I have because like when I'm doing like I mean we agree, like I'm gonna try to do the whole Spider-Man series.
Right.
So when it comes to priority in terms of like the Sinister Six, the villains, the Spider-Man, this is on the bottom of the priority since it wasn't really like I have one already technically. So
Right.
I'm probably gonna pass on it. I mean, if it sits around, coupon it, grab. I don't know. I'm not. But it's not something I need to get right away. I'm gonna save those funds.
It's also a 345 figure, even though it does have the big base in it.
It is expensive. Yeah, I had
for
this one.
345. I could get Doc Ock, and I need him more. He's more of a priority than this. I mean, it's just.
I went crazy. I told you guys with the No Way Home stuff. No Way Home was such a good movie to me that it got me to finally start collecting Marvel Hot Toys and other Hot Toys, really. So I was all in on the No Way Home stuff. Every time a No Way Home release dropped, for the most part, I grabbed it. The only one I didn't grab immediately was Electro, and I did end up pre-ordering him before he went to waitlist. But yeah, so I do have this one on pre-order, and I've already been paying for it for a couple months, so I'm pretty excited to get him. But again, I didn't have the upgraded suit. If I already had the upgraded suit, I probably would have passed on this one just because it's very, very similar. But with that being said, I do really love the base, and I might end up using it for someone else. As I was saying, the Crow, I kind of like that idea. Kind of like that idea of putting.
Well, you know what you're saying for that base, Optical 20 in his release video was basically saying the same thing, like with Batman.
Yeah.
He was just like, you can get this. And do he basically was, he's been collecting Hot Toys for a very long time.
Yeah,
and has done a lot of pictures and other stuff. He said he thinks that base that comes with this guy is one of the best that you can just do for photo opportunity with so many different figures. Like he thinks that base is so universal.
it's kind of like
You
the
can use it
Thanos,
with
that
almost
Thanos
anything.
space. You know what I'm talking about? With
the
the
rock
rocks.
base.
Yeah, it's the same way. It's like, dude, I see ideas floating in my head when I see it. Matt does make a good point here. They do throw in these bases to inflate the price. Absolutely. I mean, we've said this so many times.
Look at the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. It's either like 300 or 450.
Yeah,
You're paying
and it's
for,
the year.
and
We said this
difference
many
is the
times. It's the year of the
segment
base. It's the year of the display base. But this base looks so good, man. It really does. It really looks fantastic. Now, does this cringe me right here? Is this cringy to me? Yeah, because you know how those claws are when it comes to Spider-Man suits. Thankfully, this one in the middle is mostly cloth, I believe. I've never owned the upgraded suit, but I believe this is mostly cloth. Here, I think is that same kind of Spidey suit material.
The black is not forgiving.
So I would, if anything, move it down to this area if you can to kind of keep it off of the black. But You got to be careful with these Spidey suits, guys. I have a few Spider-Man figures, and the only one that I am very confident in putting that claw on is the homemade suit because that's all cloth. And I heard that like the Scarlet Spider is all cloth as well.
Yeah, that's like the best posing Spider-Man there is.
I forgot to answer this because somebody earlier in the chats, I don't know if they're still here, asked about with Spec Fiction and getting the NRD back.
Oh yeah.
Back.
Who asked you that? I can't remember. I did see that.
But yes, to answer that question, I did get my full NRD back, but I didn't ask for a refund. I just asked for the funds to be transferred to another figure. So they were willing to do that in full. But the only thing is if you put rewards points down, you don't get the rewards points back.
You were lucky there, Cigars. Last time when I transferred one last time, I lost like $100 of the thing.
Yeah, the no rewards points thing is not fair.
You know, there's a policy where it's like 50% of your NRD will be lost because of a transfer fee and all that. But given the situation on what I explained to them about the news with
it's been delayed quite a bit.
Well, no, it's other things like we'll talk backstage, but it's bad stuff.
Yeah,
that they were willing to help me out, and because I've never done it before, like I've never asked for NRD back. I never asked for a transfer, any of that. So I asked, could it just be a one-time thing? Because most companies, they give you a one-time waiver where they're like, all right, we'll do this one time, but that's it. Any other time, you have to abide by the policy. And Spec Fiction was really, they're good about it. They're like, all right, we can honor that. They honored a one-time waiver, and I got my full NRD back. But like I said, I didn't get it refunded. I got it to transfer to another figure.
There you
Look at all that stuff that comes with it.
By the way, OG, good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. And you're never late. You're always on time. So good to see you as always.
Went with that Blitzway Kurt Cobain. So I had it transferred to that Kurt Cobain figure.
Yeah, I gotta pre-order that. I think I might get mine either through Spec Fiction or Big Bad because I don't think Sideshow has them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I've seen them on Sideshow.
Sideshow doesn't. I went with Big Bad with Spec Fiction because you have the flex pay
and they have a reward system as well, which is
nice. And the down payment wasn't as much as other places. Even the places in like Hong Kong, they wanted quite a bit for the NRD.
Yeah.
Which Joker have you gotten, Cigar? Which version?
I got the 2-pack rooted, but I ended up.
Oh, so you had the big boy $1,000.
Yeah, I got the 2-pack sculpted myself.
But but I canceled it just because of stuff
that's a lot
revealed through the community and people in Hong Kong that are on the inside that were like, oh, by the way, you might want to know this and this. And then once I found out, I was like, nah, I can't support in art. Nope, you don't get my money.
Well, this is the figure that I've been waiting for.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one, especially after getting Echo. Echo is fantastic, and I don't think Echo got the respect he deserved, and I don't think that was because people disliked the figure. I think there was just a lot of stuff being released around the same time.
Bad Batch is like third tier Star Wars.
Right. So you really have to be a fan of the Bad Batch to want these figures. But with that being said, I think Hunter looks fantastic. I love the proportions on the figure. Obviously, I think his helmet is probably apart from Wreckers. I think his helmet is my favorite. And the head sculpt is obviously this is our Star Wars Rambo here. So this figure looks fantastic.
Rambo, man. What more could you ask for?
Right. Look at that head sculpt. It's beautiful. And like
you'll have to edit if you end up. You'll have to actually edit when you get this figure. Like you're gonna have to edit in for as much as you can some of Rambo's music in the background,
right? Or have like a little thing that plays in your display.
But I mean, like your intro is gonna have to be like with that short tune, like playing in the background as it shows you, like putting the knife into his holster there, putting the blaster into the thing, and showing you like sticking the gun into his hand and everything like that.
That's actually my favorite. Accessory on this is the vibro blade that slides into his arm. I think that's really cool, and obviously he used it a lot in the show, so it's really cool, man.
I think you're gonna have to be. I do think you're gonna want to add that at the end after you have him pose pretty much how you want him, because I'm willing to bet it'll
probably fall out unless some of the knife holsters are actually pretty. Like the sheaths are actually pretty strong. Like Cable's, or does Cable have no? Deadpool has a leg holster for a knife, a leg. I keep saying holster.
Yeah,
A leg sheath.
Cable has it on his vest.
Yeah, Cable has his knife on his vest. Deadpool has a leg sheath, and I think that one's pretty secure. So hopefully the retention's good because, yeah, because like you said, Lane, when you're posing them and stuff, I would hope that it wouldn't fall out because I don't know if you guys know this, but like the 2-pack Boba Fett that like the bird poop Boba Fett, as we like to call him, he has this little piece that fills in the hole in the gauntlet and it just falls out constantly. I don't know if anyone else has come across that, but it's such a pain in the butt.
Oh, look. He's moving the arm up and down. The knife is still staying sheathed.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So I would say that retention's pretty good.
It probably clicks in.
Yeah. And to be fair, the other one, most of them were molded kind of to the shape of the blade, but I think this looks fantastic. I'm a big fan. And like I said, after getting the Echo, I'm like, man, I really, really want this figure, and I really want the rest of the Bad Batch.
Remember when Lane said we weren't going to get a head sculpt with Echo? The North remembers.
I actually forgot about that, Lane. That's sacrilege, man. I have said this the whole time, though, in terms of the Bad Batch, like they have to have head sculpts. Like, and Crosshair, we saw that with Crosshair. A lot of people were like, "Oh, I don't know if he's going to get a head sculpt." And like, I think they'll give all of them a head sculpt. Like, if you're going to give one of them a head sculpt, the rest of them are going to get them. You know?
Yeah, I think they're all going to get a head sculpt. And after seeing the trailer for season 2,
where they're like helmetless.
I just want season 1 armor because the new looking armor.
Yeah,
for
season 2 armor is so ugly. It's so ugly. It's very ugly. Yeah, the season 1 armor is definitely the bread and butter. I love the season 1 armor too because it kind of has like an Empire feel to it with that grayish gunmetal and the red. I love it, man. It's so unique. In person, the weathering on Echo is top tier. It really is. It's fantastic. If you guys don't have Echo yet, I hope you guys can find a good deal on them because trust me, it'll be worth it. I ended up getting them on a deal for Black Friday for $199, which was pretty inexpensive for me, you know. So I was pretty happy with that considering what he retails for with plus shipping and taxes with Sideshow. You're looking at like $300, you know.
It's and he's only $250 for Hunter. And
yeah, $250 is a good price for this.
Yeah, I mean, he comes with a decent enough amount of stuff. Now, I think for the Bad Batch to sell all of them, except for Wrecker, because obviously he's going to be a big dude, I think they are going to have to keep the price point relatively, and I'm putting quote relatively cheap for Hot Toys, like with Crosshair being $260, $270. I think they have to kind of keep these characters in that kind of price range area.
Other than Wrecker, because he's a big body, but the rest
he's
of
gonna.
them,
but I mean, he might be $300 like She-Hulk.
Imagine if he was $285. That would shock me. That'd really shock me.
I just think they have to because these guys are such a more.
They're a niche figure for sure.
Yeah,
niche line
and they're animated and stuff, and they don't have years and years like the clone. Like these guys are not going to get 7 years of adventures like Clone Wars did, you know?
Right.
They might get like one more.
Look at them together, man.
Yeah, they're
imagine
cool.
all of them together. It's going to be fantastic. It really is.
Like I said, these like my Clone Wars kind of. I think my Clone Wars collecting is kind of coming to an end where I'm going to channel it into all of these guys. You know, because I love their armors, the season 1 and everything. I mean, I've had Hunter on pre-order, paid off for a while. I've got, I did Crosshair day 1.
Yeah.
This is just, he's a really, I think he's one of the best valued. But here's another guy who's very good.
So we're just kind of blazing through these Sideshow videos, guys. But real quick, Penn, I want to shout out to Penn, by the way, because Penn did send me in the Discord. Penn sent me the link to the deal for Echo. There was a lot of good deals going on that day, but that was probably the best deal that I found. So I really appreciate you for that, Penn, because it made my day. But yeah, so while we're talking about this, Ryan actually has this figure in hand. So Ryan, if you want to kind of chime in about the Val Kilmer Batman here, because you were really like kind of gushing about this backstage.
Oh, I'm gushing like a fanboy.
Dude, tell us about the Val Kilmer Batman, and feel free to kind of bring yours up and show it off.
Here it is right here. I had to do a little. Obviously, my web camera is not going to do this thing justice, but as I said, I was super excited for this figure. When this was sitting in the bin, back in the coming soon, I never thought I'd see the light of day of actually holding this figure in my hands. I got it in today. And this figure is unbelievable. I think we talked about it. This is probably one of the best Batman Hot Toys that I own. It's up there. I mean, understand when I say that, I'm putting nostalgia into it, everything like that. I mean, I have the 89 Batman, I have the DX19, I have pretty much every one of them except for the Adam West Batman. But I mean, this thing is just absolutely outstanding. When you get it out of the box, just a couple things. I mean, just to give you guys some notes, you know, because I have all the accessories and everything, but when you take it out of the box, the suit is super sticky. When you like this material, it's a little sticky, but it kind of breaks in. And also, as I was mentioning, the plastic protectors all over it. You just want to get those things off as soon as possible just to make sure.
Yeah.
But the suit does feel like it's restrictive. This is a museum pose piece, definitely. It was interesting how the arms can really, like, as you can see, they can really fit close to the body.
Considering the nature of the suit, it's very surprising.
Yeah,
to get that
and
close.
you want to leave the arms a little open. These creases I thought were interesting are built into the suit. Those creases are
which almost is a good thing, because then if you were, because obviously it's one of those things, if you were to put the creases yourself, you're like, oh damn, I messed up the figure.
Yeah,
so I kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie.
And I mean, I did do the old hands on the fist on the waist thing. I mean, it is, you know, the suit is what it is, but in museum pose, it's just fantastic. The cape itself, I had some concerns about the cape, the clips. It naturally gives you that arc as he wore the cape, because I know
similar to the DX19 how it attaches with those little clips.
Yeah, the clips here, and like the Val Kilmer suit, he always wore the cape back. You know, he didn't have it forward, so the cape itself perfectly drapes back. So there's no worries. I was worried about how this would like either tear or rip, but it's like designed for that. I'm trying to get my camera
good,
focused.
Man. It's draping really well, and the material in the cape. I don't know if you have the Rise of Skywalker Kylo Ren, but it looks very similar to that material.
Yes. This cape is gorgeous. Absolutely, gorgeous.
It looks really good. And I love how it's framed underneath the cowl in the back. That looks fantastic. It looks really, really. The cowl's great. I mean, and while we're talking about this Batman, I kind of want you to bust out the other Batman.
I kind of don't want to bust that.
You don't want to keep.
No, I will. I have them. I'm very so. As I said, I opened up that one. It was like I was gushing over it, and then you can see this guy right here. I got them both the same day. I opened up. I think we joked backstage. I opened up the wrong one first. I opened up the best one first, and then I got this guy. There he is. This is the.
Oh, you got to move it. Yeah.
There's the Batman Begins.
That cowl. There's just something
very really, controversial figure, guys.
That.
So I'm gonna try to film this tomorrow and post like a proper video, because I haven't. You know, this one obviously snuck under the radar. There wasn't any real like promo photos released. This literally, like, the Batman Forever stole the show. This one really flew under the radar. They just kind of dropped it. But there's a couple of videos circulating online that I've seen. I think I've sent them to you guys also, that they're just like grainy and just kind of like, oh, this thing stinks, all this stuff. So I haven't seen a fair review on it. So I'm going to try to film something tomorrow and get it up, just so I want to be very fair about it. But I do have to say, first impression, I'm disappointed with the figure. I do have to say I'm disappointed. Aside from the basics, like the clips are in the wrong spot. Okay. The cowl is too big for the character. It is taller than it should be. My web camera isn't going to focus in super great on it. It's just not, because it sees me there, so it's not going to like zoom in perfect. So aside from that though, but like this, it just looks weird. Like I even showed like the undersuit to it. If you could see how much gapping there is.
There's not enough padding in the chest.
There's not enough padding at all on this thing. As you can see, like I didn't even mean to touch it, honestly, and I grabbed it. And I'm like, wait, what does that feel?
Like, hold up.
So it definitely isn't padded enough. And he just looks very like his stature, like him standing next to the Val Kilmer. He looks small, doesn't look proportionate correctly. And the cape is it's a wired cape. I've been actually futzing with it.
It looks like the cape that came with Moff Gideon.
Yeah,
with lack of movement and stuff.
But you can see the cape itself is just like it's
wired. It's very exterior.
It's very big, and the one thing that bothers me is that, like, I know Christian Bale's Batman wore it completely closed, like, in certain scenes.
Right.
I mean, you can't get the gap.
You can't even do that. Yeah,
you can't even. I was sitting here futzing with this thing while we were on stream, just trying to, like, because it was bothering the hell out of me. So it's very the one thing I will say, one complaint everyone has is the shininess. It's not as shiny as the camera is going to bounce. It's just kind of
how the light is catching it.
No, it's not as super shiny as what people think it is. So the shininess, like, it looks shiny there because my camera's bouncing off of it. In person, it's not matte black, but it's not a high gloss either. It's definitely a low gloss, but it's not as super shiny as what people are making out to be. But I am disappointed in the figure, I will say. But it's one of those figures where it's like I needed a Batman Begins, and that's what the figure is. And it so kind of stinks. And I think that's what it is. I think it was just a quick reissue. I say quick. What, it was announced over a year ago, so I keep saying quick.
It was just
like
an easy reissue
cash grab for people who don't have a Batman Begins. So I already am reaching out to try to get a velvet drape cape, because that is priority, is to get a velvet drape cape. So I'm already.
Isn't it funny that a lot of people had issues with the DX19 cape, but then when you look at that one compared to this one, you're like, oh, DX19 cape.
No, the DX19, I thought about like, oh, you need a new cape. Like the DX09, obviously I got a new cape for that because it needs that. The DX19, I left the cape as is. I mean, yeah, if you want like a velvet material cape, okay, cool. This one though, it's like it bums me out that I wish they would have put another cape in there, even though their capes aren't accurate. Like I literally opened this thing up, and the first thing I said was, "I need a new cape for this figure." Like I'm hoping that saves the figure, because it will close up the body and kind of keep it concealed. Because that's how I want mine displayed, is with his cape concealing his body, and it's just
Hey, with the cape, can you do the flight pose with it?
I mean, it opens up pretty well. Yeah, it's got full span. Yeah, you can. It got full wingspan.
Is it wired enough?
It is wired, but the wire is super weak. It doesn't. I mean, if I hold the cape out like this, like the wire goes all along the edge, and if I hold the cape out, it doesn't. It just falls. It doesn't.
Man, I was excited for this figure.
The cape.
I wanted
you know what stinks about it? The cape. The wire.
The DX19.
Yeah, that's what I said. CMB. I'm like, I'm gonna have to end up passing on it. It's not good, man. The DX19 is fantastic.
I'll take Kilmer and Throbbing, but
no, the wire is so weak on this cape that like you can't even like form it around the chest to try to like mold it, because I wanted it hugging the body as much as it can. The wire, just the cape doesn't work with you. I'm having like DX09.
You'll have to probably mod it, like maybe put some magnets to kind of.
I'm just getting a drape velvet.
I forget the guy's name, but there's a guy on Facebook that does all the superhero capes.
There's a few people I reached out to. There's one buddy of mine that I got a drape cape for my Ben Affleck, so I already got a velvet cape in the works that I'm
nice.
That has a fast turnaround.
That is a way to make this figure look a little less ridiculous, as if you do the first night out look, because that obviously it takes a lot of the things out of the equation that people have issues with, like Ryan's mentioning the cowl and the cape and everything. So I feel like probably a lot of people after getting this figure are like, oh, maybe I could salvage it by doing that look. And I do think it is.
The first night out look, I don't think he didn't have the emblem on it. He just had the tactical. No. Like it was stripped down tactical.
Right. So it's like a wannabe first.
And he wore a ski mask. He wore a black ski mask. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a wannabe look, but I do think a lot of people are going to do that to kind of save the figure.
I think the paint app on the face is too dark.
I noticed that too. Like the mouthpiece,
the faceplate. If you compare him to the Kilmer, it looks like he sat out in the sun too long. Like he looks really dark.
Let's look at my DX19 and then we'll look at yours. And
yours is completely different.
So there's a DX19. You could see it's normal flesh tone that you would expect. And then we go over to Ryan's camera.
My camera's not going to be great,
but you could still see it's way darker. It's like he got a spray tan. And that's how the older Batman figures looked. Like they had like a not as good of a paint job. But you could definitely see there's a huge difference.
But like if I compare him to, let me try to. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you could see it. You could absolutely see it. It's much tanner.
See the difference between Kilmer and Bale's paint.
Yeah, for sure.
No, like Val Kilmer, I'm not gonna lie. The Val Kilmer Batman is probably, arguably, if I had a top 10 for the year, it's easily in that one, just because of the figure, the anticipation for it. But in terms of Batman Hot Toys, it's probably it's up there, if not my number one, if not number two behind. I mean, I'm always a Keaton. Keaton's my Batman. So
right,
but it's so close. It's so close.
Dude, this Robin too, man. He looks fantastic. I will say, I wish the chest was a bit padded out more, but other than that, he looks great.
I got him.
Dude, there's some extra padding already somewhere on the outfit.
Yeah, right? in the cod piece. But yeah, he looks fantastic. I like
padding down there, bro.
Yeah, that's where they put all the padding by mistake. But you can see what I mean. I think in the upper chest, they could have put a little bit more padding, but I'm not complaining. This suit is so like nostalgic to me. I love the colors, like the comic inspired colors. I think it looks great. And I think the sculpt is really nice. I think the lightness is there. And when you could see a likeness under a mask, essentially, you know that they did a good job. I think
Well,
it
that's what
looks
I'm saying about the
fantastic.
Val Kilmer. Like, one could argue that you literally have just a faceplate, like just like the Michael Keaton and like RoboCop. But like, if you could nail a single face,
Right, you can see Peter Weller in those faceplates.
Yeah, or like even Michael Keaton, you're looking at lips
Yeah.
basically and a chin, and if you can nail that, I mean, that's arguably like an impossible thing. Like, if you can nail that, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, actually,
Freaking centaur, bro. He's a man on top. He built like a horse from the waist down.
I know. Look at those thighs. It's so funny how these older suits had like the muscles, the muscles like kind of carved into the suits. It's so
It was such a
interesting.
joke, but I like the suits though. I mean, I
And of course
appreciate
the nipple suit's classic. I mean, we love the nipple suits. It's classic,
So
but
stupid. Who puts
it
nipples
very
on a suit?
right. It's so funny. I mean, but even with that being said, like kind of like Ryan was saying earlier, I honestly thought that these figures like didn't have a chance in hell in coming out when we first saw like a glimpse of them. So the fact that they not only came out but so soon after we got that little tease was pretty incredible, and I was very excited to see these. And like these figures are definitely coming home for sure. I haven't purchased either one of them yet because I'm waiting to get a deal on them, but I'm very impressed from what I'm seeing. I love the look of them. I will say, like Ryan was saying, be very careful with these suits. Don't let the arms touch the suit because it's going to stick to itself. Ryan already told you guys the suits are very tacky. So be very careful. But if you
like all
treat
this
them
that's
well,
happening right now is like never would even think about it.
right? Yeah, like these are figures I probably wouldn't review because I wouldn't want to do this to my personal copy because you guys know I like to like pose my figures in my videos. But yeah,
That
like
looks
see what he's
horrible.
doing there.
Whoa, did you see that
No
with
way.
the leg? It came back down on its own. It didn't.
Yeah,
he
that
lifted it
suit's
up
tight.
And it dropped.
That
Look,
suit's
watch,
tight.
look at it.
Oh, look at that! Look at that right there! Look at that! Ouch!
It came
I got
back
that-
down on its own.
That's the nature of a rubber suit, man. Look at that.
Okay, so museum pose only. for
Exactly
Batman and
right.
Robin.
That
Yeah.
I want to watch that one more time. Let's do it in slow motion though. Let's see how do I do slow motion here?
Hey,
Let's
while
get
he's
that
doing
instant
slow
replay
motion,
again.
hey Ryan, do you have the Justice League or the Suicide Squad Batman?
I have the BBS.
Watch this, guys.
I have
Watch
the BBS
this. Here we
Batman.
go.
Okay.
Yikes! Look at that.
Down.
Yikes! Oh, look at it. It's like clicked into place.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's the only
that's so
downside.
bad.
That's the
Do
only
not
downside.
mess with that Robin too much because looking at the way that leg came back down, ooh, that's not
Yeah,
good.
Toy Mafia. I think Lane is right. You are the emoji king. That's the exact emoji that expresses that,
that's
which
that's
is
Oh,
interesting
did
too.
that
like
just move down on its own too? When
Did you see like the red cod
Yeah.
piece? Look at the red cod.
Oh, oh yeah! Look at the
Oh,
gap
look
in the
at that.
cod piece.
Whoa!
Watch.
I thought that was all one
Yeah.
piece.
Oh, look! It got stuck in place from the material. That's interesting.
Oh, look at that pop out. It popped
Look.
out. Look.
Look at the gap in the cod piece now. Oh, look at that!
Oh,
Oh, he popped it out, dude. That suit's done.
Oh, look when he pans back. It's back to normal. Look, they're like, oh,
no. His fingers pushing it down.
oh, you think so?
Look
You
at his
think
Fingers
index
pushing
finger.
It down.
Yeah.
Yeah, his fingers pushing it down.
Look
They're
at the
trying to hide
gap there.
fact
Watch.
that it
He's like,
popped out of place.
everything's back to normal.
It's just like how they messed with Grievous at the Sideshow Con when they were announcing, "Oh yeah, it's so new. Look at this,
Right.
this." Same thing, dude.
I had a lot of
Did
hope
you
for
s-
that Grievous.
Did you see how hard he's pushing down with his fingers?
down on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he knew he busted it.
It was his
he
finger
knew
changing
he
colors.
busted that thing.
Wow,
Dude.
that's Guy for you, man. He's a legend when it comes to posing.
They're probably like, okay, guy, here's what you have to pay for
Dude.
now.
Right,
Yeah,
dude. This
You just bought that figure.
They literally and they finished filming this and they're like, "Look, how much does Terry want again? We need
Right.
to bring Terry back.
Right.
Screw it."
exactly.
Dude, that base looks amazing though.
All these collectors now liking
color,
the garbage
everything.
movie. Hey, Matt, these movies were garbage, but there are garbage. Yes, the colors are going to pop. Let me ask you this, Ryan. Is this like 3D? Like, is this coming up off of the base or is it flat?
Good question. I never actually opened it.
Because here, I don't know. What about to you guys? But to me, it looks like it's 3D.
raised. Like
yeah,
like it's coming
that's
up.
really cool. I
like
hope
the
it
question and stuff.
is.
Yeah.
Exactly, like that, like question mark and the Batman symbol.
Sorry,
Obviously,
guys.
it'd be annoying
My
to
mom-
pose it with that, but
My mom sent me cookies from Hawaii. These things are freaking delicious.
oh, you're good. I didn't even hear it.
Here, check this out.
All right, let's see. Here we go.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, it
It
is.
is
That's so
raised.
cool.
Nice.
That's
cool, dude.
awesome.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I just the base alone. Even though I hate these reused bases, this is
Yeah, where they
look at
have
that.
the lights, but the lights don't function. I love it.
Yeah.
That's the Mark 7 base right there. You have the Mark 7. That's basically what it is. That same That's
No,
nice though, dude.
That
That's
looks
really
like the
cool.
original Batman base. The
It
original.
Yeah,
is. It's the
that-
DX09. It's the Mark 7. This is the Wonder Woman Golden Armor base.
Terminator used that base as well.
This is the Joker base too. Yeah,
That's beautiful.
But
Man.
this is
I
nice
love
how this is
that.
raised.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, obviously when you're posing it kind of gets in the way, but I don't care. It looks cool.
This is just an awesome base actually, and you know what? It's just
Those colors, dude. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pull you off. Those
no,
colors are
you're
beautiful.
good. It's just that's what But
That's really cool, man. I never caught that when I haven't watched these videos yet, but when we saw the prototype photos, I never caught that. That's very cool. I dig it. The high gloss is going to get scratched, kind of like the First Order and the sequel trilogy bases, but who cares?
Just put it in a museum pose and just don't let it move, and it won't get scratched.
Exactly. That's a wired cape right there. That's a wired cape. That's what you want to see. That's beautiful, man. Yeah, these figures are a home run. It's a very unfortunate you can't pose them how you want them. But even with these basic poses they have them in here, like that's a good pose. It doesn't really stretch the material too much. I think that's a reasonable pose right there.
Well, the thing about it is I even took a couple photos. I was just taking shots. He's just standing with his arms down. It's such a commanding presence already that like you can. It's like the Michael Keaton. I have him in a museum pose, but like that.
These guys don't need to be in a Spider-Man.
They don't need to.
No,
be
they don't. Exactly. They. Look really
half the
good
time
as
Spider-Man pose figures shouldn't be in Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. It's unfortunate.
Well, literally, they could say they kept it accurate because the actors said it was really hard to move at all in the costumes back in the day making them. So
because it's all like foam.
They're
latex.
keeping it. Hey, we say Hot Toys promises accuracy to the movies as much as possible.
That is the one gripe I had about that is that everyone when these figures came out and they saw the creases, everybody flipped out and was
it's like, what did you expect? That's the material.
It was a rubber suit that like they couldn't even move around anyway.
Yeah, it's a hard rubber suit.
And not for nothing, Spider-Man, who is arguably the most articulated character, you can't do anything with him either because they made the suits the way they were. So it's like, why would you think it would be any different?
Yeah.
Speaking of Spider-Man,
because when you draw
nice segue there. You see what I did there?
Because when you draw Spider-Man in the comics, you can draw him being super.
Unless you make him in a cloth
doing those
suit.
crazy Spider-Man, poses that you see in the artwork. It's easier to draw it than to bring it into reality and then put it into a suit and have somebody try to manipulate the same poses, but in a suit that's restrictive because they make the suit skin tight. So if the suit's skin tight, you can't really get the actor or even the stuntman to do the same poses as the artwork because in artwork it's a drawing. There's nothing hindering it. Well, whereas the human body is going to be hindered because of the material. Like you said with Batman, it was all hard rubber. How do you move in hard rubber? You can't.
Yeah.
Well, so Connor, do you think related now to here? It looks like we're getting the feet of.
So we're getting the final scene suit, and I did not expect this before the next Spider-Man film. I got to be honest with you, I'm on record saying this. I did not think this was going to come out, and none of us did. I mean, I think everybody I talked to was like, "Yeah, we'll see that for the next film."
This is the capper for basically the No Way Home line, pretty much now.
I would say so. I would say this is probably it. Like, what else? Like. They're definitely not going to give us. They're not going to give us Ned or anything. They're not going to give us Zendaya's Mary Jane. We're not going to get her. So it's like I think this is it. This is probably it. Now, is this a good way to end it off? Yeah, it is. This suit is beautiful, man. I remember seeing this on screen. I'm like, dude, that's a suit right there.
Yeah. And I bet you this suit will be better than the classic suit that they released.
I think so. I would agree with you. I love the colors. Now I want to try to go back. I don't know what it's literally. You guys see me. I'm pressing the X here and it's doing nothing. Gotta love Facebook. I'm gonna go back and okay. But originally, I caught this when it first came up, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. But when this first came up, dude, I saw this and I'm like, is that the final suit? I posted it in the Hot Toys Hotline Facebook group. I'm like, is that the final suit from No Way Home? And sure enough, it ended up being the final suit because you can see the colors here are very apparent, and the logo on the chest is different.
I had to double check because when I saw that blue, I was like, "Is that the churro?" And I went and looked at the logo. I was like,
too,
nope.
right?
Yeah, like, that's not the web logo. So that when you posted that was the final suit just from this promo photo, I was like, "Oh shit, he's right."
Yeah, dude, OG, you got to get this one, man. This suit's beautiful. I would argue to say this is probably one of the best suits they've done in a long time. I loved the
hands
integrated
down.
suit, but the integrated suit is not like an all-around Spider-Man look. That's a special suit. You know what I mean? Just like the Iron Spider is a special suit.
I want this one to be the classic suit for me, just because when Hot Toys released that classic suit, there's too many issues with it.
The material
it bunches,
is just...
it bunches up, it bulks up. The rib areas and armpit areas are too tight, so if you do pose them in a certain pose, I saw people where the sides, just the stitching just popped out, just completely came undone.
See, and I thought that was the most, that was the awesome looking Spider-Man.
Well, the other thing is that was a PS4 classic Spider-Man.
Matt, what
Yeah.
face tease are you talking about?
Well,
I
it's
have
classic
that, and I
suit.
like
It's classic suit from the comics too. Is what they're going with it. With.
Yeah, but
Matt, I'm not sure what
I
face
would have
tease. I
gotten
didn't
it,
see
but
that.
then when I saw all the people posting all the issues they got with it, I was like, dude, I'm not.
yeah, I have it. It's in another.
$260.
I have it. It's in a museum post.
Dude, I have it
Good,
too,
just
and
because,
mine came. Mine came
See-
with scratches on it and holes in it, small pinholes.
Yeah, that's not good. That'd be an
And
instant return.
I just
for me.
contacted Sideshow, and they're like, "Do you want to return it back?" I was like, "No," so I could just pose whatever I want, and they just gave
I'm
me
excited.
a little refund.
I'm excited for this one because the closest suit at this point that I think that we had that looked like the end of the movie one was the Alex Ross one. It was the Iron Man it was the Spider-Man Mark IV suit from the PS4 game, the one that was super shiny, that had that remember that light that you put on it that reflected off of it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
My son
That
has
was the
it.
closest at the time that we had that maybe looked like this end of the suit. So I'm super excited to get
Oh,
this.
guys,
Uh-oh.
we have some breaking news as I'm just refreshing, and we gotta stop what we're doing right now.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Wow,
Not
that's decent assault.
not a release, but we were just talking
An
about this,
announcement.
guys. You can't make this up. No, look who's now on almost gone status on Last Chance.
Lone Trooper.
Uh-oh.
All
Looks
right.
like I'm gonna have to drop a pre-order.
Yep,
Sean, how many
I
of this
gotta
one are you
grab it.
getting? Of the
Enough.
Clean Trooper. Enough. I'm probably only gonna get
This
one
is
of
the thing, though. Is once this sells out, I think we're going to get a real definitive shiny. They're going to come out with an actual shiny. With
I
the
know,
gloss.
like an actual with the
Paint
actual
job.
gloss finish on the armor. Yeah,
I'm not too worried about it. I got, like I said, I have my backup sites A through Z.
I
I'm
buy
never
everything
worried
from
about
Sideshow, so I have to pre-order it because I want to go through Sideshow because the rewards.
And I have
and
a
stuff,
feeling
but-
that's going to come out sooner than everyone expects.
Well, look what happened with the 501st. Remember how early those came out? Like, kind of caught everybody off guard.
Coruscant Guard came out early too.
Yeah, I remember
Coruscant
that.
Guard, yeah, I remember that. That did
so
come out early. That caught me off guard because I had 2 on order and I forgot about it. And then they're like, "Oh, it's coming in early. You want to pay it off?" I was like, "Oh yeah, it's just one figure." And then when I checked my bank account, I was like, "What the hell?" So I went back and looked. I was like, "Oh damn, I forgot I ordered 2 of them. Whoops."
That's interesting. So yeah,
Did you guys also know that I know this is a little bit off topic. The Dark Trooper, the ID Me discount's working now for the 15%
Oh, is it?
off.
that's
Yeah.
good. I didn't know that. I haven't tried it. It's also working on Vision now as well too, because it wasn't working on him
Weird,
forever.
because when I ordered the Dark Trooper, the ID Me worked for me no problem when I ordered it.
It was blocked on a lot of stuff. Like a lot of the stuff that said no promos available, it wasn't working on. But like I said, I kept checking Vision over and over and over again. It wasn't working on him, and now all of a sudden it's working on Vision.
Yeah,
So
because like when the Dark Trooper first came into stock at Sideshow, I was like, "Oh, let me put in my cart." And when I put in my cart, I did the ID Me thing, and it gave me the discount.
yeah,
And
they
then
did the
everybody's
same
like-
thing for Echo. He had the discount at first, and then they took it off. I don't know why they do
Yeah.
that. For me, I think ID Me should be valid on everything. Like there's no taking it on and off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. Because I mean, I
Yeah.
got those. I even got Echo on discount. But like, if you go try to get War Machine Mark 1, it won't. It's not available for discount. I'm like, what the hell?
Yet.
I thought
Right.
ID Me says, even Sideshow thing, anything in stock. I'm like, well, it's been in stock for like a month now. What the hell is going on, Sideshow?
I wonder if I have 2 thanks coupons. Let's see if the thanks coupon works on them while we're here. But that's interesting though, because I just checked before the stream started, and that one wasn't on Last Chance. So what that tells me, guys, is I'm gonna keep a close eye on the Attack of the Clones stuff from Wave 1. That's what that tells me. Because I think last we looked, he had, what, 3? He was limited of 3 last we checked him.
Yeah, he's still limited to 3 right now. I'm just checking. And there's a 3-minute warning. So you only have them in your cart for 3 minutes.
Mine says 5 minutes. I'm also trying to apply a promo code just to see if it works. But yeah, guys, keep an eye on that one because he is on last chance now. Yeah, it's blue barred. So that means, and you know what happens? And now the thing that's dangerous about this figure, guys, is this is one of those figures that people are going to buy up for customs or just army building in general. So with this one, I wouldn't sit on it too long if you want to grab at least 1 or 2, you know, I wouldn't sit on it too long. So typically the thanks promo works.
It doesn't work on him.
It does not work on him.
It does not work on. Those ones haven't worked for quite a while. On those guys
so
right now,
the thanks coupon works for like 170 figures right now, I think, but I don't think any of the Attack the Clone stuff is on there. At least not the first wave. I think they took off the wave 2 as well. Though.
Yeah, they had Padme and Anakin. They were actually on there for longer than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah,
but right now. Specifically
for WD-40 their chair.
Yeah,
I know they do.
Right now for specifically Hot Toys. Sorry, actually, hold on. Sorry, guys, give me 1 second. My computer.
That's all right. What?
Time I hear that creak, I feel like I'm listening to a horror movie.
Okay.
Don't go in that door, lady.
It reminds me of some like bathroom flashbacks.
Fantastic there. So right now for Star Wars, it works on 9 figures. I guess it went last time. So right now, both Queels, which obviously they've been on there for a while,
for a minute.
The ARC Trooper with the ATRT. So most of the time they keep vehicles on this for quite a while because they're a higher price item. The Vader Deluxe version. I think it actually only works on the regular one, not the deluxe anymore.
I hate how they do that. If you're going to put it on a figure, let it work for both versions,
Yeah. Both versions of Luke Skywalker Mando are still on it. That one's been on for a while.
And I think the standard Bespin was on there.
Yeah, no, he's gone.
They removed him. He was on there for a bit.
Cad Bane has been on there for a bit. But what are 2 more recent ones? They kind of came on, went off, and came back on again. Reva, third sister. Is on here, and the regular version of Ahsoka.
Nice.
So not the deluxe one, not the DX deluxe or whatever she's listed as, but just the regular version.
Bunch of Marvel it works on. It's mostly Marvel stuff that it's.
Yeah, Marvel. There's 34. There was a combined like 50 something, and Marvel was 34 of them. Like Doc Ock, it works. The Groot, both Mech Test, the expensive version of Friendly Neighborhood. Recently, Mighty Thor actually came on it. Both versions of I guess people must have canceled their pre-orders on MRI's Deadpool because, like, even the the special edition, which waitlisted back during summer,
right?
The previous year is actually on the coupon. The battling version of Spider-Man, that one's on here. The regular version of Scarlet Witch. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of letting you guys know if you have possibly any points maybe in the next week.
Yeah, and I know Sideshow sent out a lot of thanks codes to everybody.
Yeah,
so.
That's a lot of times when you're going to get them. Not always, but a lot of times. But Mark 1's still on here. I mean, a lot of the expensive Iron Man ones, the form like the Ultron, but even some ones that are, might be coming here in the first part of next year. The Loki, the TVA Loki is on here. President Loki, Sylvie. And then, then it's more just like, Wenwu and Shang-Chi, which have been on
so
here
now let's use that segue to talk about this Wenwu. So surprisingly enough, guys, and Matt brings up a good point. He says Wenwu must have sold good enough in the Asian market.
Oh, yeah, he did, because Tony Leung is a huge, he's beloved by everybody in China.
And they even updated the sculpt at some point.
Yeah,
we got an update from Hot Toys where they updated the sculpt.
Yeah.
So if you guys are curious, I have a photo pulled up here of what this little teaser is of. And this
must
is actually
be when he like pounded the. Yeah, this is probably.
so. This
when
is
he
the look
pounded
that they're
the-
going. And this scene was badass. It really was.
Yeah.
But it's like, do I need two Wenwus? No, I'd rather go for the final scene look where obviously everything went down. But
the final, because in the final suit, wasn't he wearing that shirt? In the
oh,
final?
that's right. So it's before the
When he
final
gets
suit. You're right. Yeah.
Because he gets eat. Doesn't he get? When he gets eaten, isn't that the outfit he's wearing when he's battling his son?
The blue outfit.
Yeah.
You're talking about the
No,
one that's
this-
currently
this-
up
this-
the figure.
this-
No, because not the one that we're getting, not the Sub-Zero outfit, but at the end when he's trying to break the wall and he fights his son, wasn't he? That.
Let me
No,
see.
no,
I've
no,
only
the
seen the
Sub-Zero.
movie once.
No,
I can't
he
recall.
was in the Sub-Zero outfit during
Yeah.
the final battle against the wall.
Oh, he was?
That is
Okay.
Yeah, he was in the blue outfit.
That's like his Mandarin battle.
Well, yeah. To be fair, they do have a
This
pose
is-
of him
thi-
in the
thi-
final
thi-
battle with this.
This
So
is from the flashback when Simu lets him know about where he took his dad to find the like crime members and stuff who he ended up killing his wife. This is from that scene where he goes
right.
When he goes against the Triad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
finds
he really popped off in this outfit. Let's be
yeah.
fair.
So and that's what Simu got to watch his dad murder those guys.
Right, but yeah, this is. I mean, it's a cool figure. Is it something that a lot of people are going to be hyped for? No, but I think me personally, even if you're a big fan of the film, you're going to want the other figure over this one, just because this is just a very
This
basic
one might
figure.
be more expensive too.
I mean, yeah, these are all like
Given
Rebel
time.
base releases, so I'm
Yeah,
not
so
surprised.
this one that one's $250 from like a year and something ago. This
Which is a
version-
great value.
Yeah, and they come both. My problem, I just don't like the Shang-Chi one so much. It's because from the shot showing like the elbows and the joints and everything. That I like with the Wenwu one is because there's the nature of the outfit and his sleeves. All that is covered, so you can't
Let's
see
actually
it.
let's revisit the past here. Let's bring up this Wenwu.
Yeah.
Those
Is that-
figures got to be coming out soon. I would
Very,
think.
Yeah,
dude,
they're
it's got to
both-
be
they're
soon.
January
They're supposed
to
to
March.
March.
They've been sitting for a minute, man.
When you look at this one though, dude, it's superior. It really is to that look.
Yeah.
It's this outfit is beautiful.
He looks like this, and with the I'm not sure if I'm ever going to exactly love like kind of the ring effects things here. I actually kind of just like the ones without the effects just on
This
his
right
arm and
here
stuff
is
like that.
is like
Yeah,
That's
incredible
sick.
to me. It's so sick.
yeah. These are, I mean, and Wenwu, he's old enough. He's not going to obviously waitlist pre-order.
No,
But
he won't. He won't.
This is a guy. I think he's going to sit for a little while, just because. I mean, he's been at the bottom of the. Not even this figure has been at the bottom of the pre-order list forever.
But see,
like,
you can hide those
forever.
elbows with a suit, kind of. If you,
Yeah.
But I think it depends on the pose with Shang-Chi,
Yeah.
though.
yeah,
Like that's the only thing I don't like with it. Like with him, he actually comes, I think, with more little pieces than Wenwu does. But Wenwu, I think Wenwu, he's a great villain. And what I think about him, just like kind of mixing him or doing poses with even other Avengers or MCU characters,
Mhm.
is that he's got hand fighting stuff. So I don't know. You can put him with Daredevil, the yellow Daredevil that comes out down the road.
Yeah, and
The martial art types, but he's also got powerful magic.
I think for the little bit of the
weapons.
screen time that he had a great like character arc at the end.
bang
Yeah.
for your buck.
Yeah, you can put him with a lot. I mean, you could just literally, since we're in the multiverse thing,
He would look good with Doctor Strange. I mean, hell.
Yeah, you could put him because he's supposed to be one of the most powerful warriors who's lived for 1,000 years. So you can put him in hand-to-hand combat poses and what have you against heroes, and you can put him against.
That was
I'm not
sick.
getting. I'm not getting
Bro,
that figure. I'm
these
not getting
effects are
Simu
cool.
Lee.
I'm
Simu
definitely
Lee.
getting it.
Simu.
Dude, Simu Liu, whatever. I don't even care. Like
I'm getting it,
That
dude.
guy is a trash human being. Like all he does is just incite drama. I mean, hell, he's not even allowed. He's not allowed back into China because they don't like him.
I like
Well,
this
people
character. I'm just going
disavowed
strictly
you,
based
were
on the
like, nah.
character.
Yeah, I think.
His
I
own
think the
people, his own people were like, no, he's not allowed in our country.
Like,
Yeah,
I
well,
liked
that
Captain
dude
Marvel
talks
as a
too much
character.
shit.
I want
Yeah.
Trevor and
But
Wong.
I got him.
But no, see,
Dude.
the one thing is because I actually this is probably of Phase 4. Now I have not seen Wakanda Forever yet. I still need to see
I
that
loved
one.
it. I thought it was fantastic. I loved it.
I never saw it either yet.
But Shang-Chi was probably my second favorite of the Phase 4 movies behind Spider-Man.
Shang-Chi got disrespected a lot, and I was like hesitant when I was gonna watch it regardless, but I was like, I'm not gonna enjoy this one.
Now,
and I loved it. I
the
absolutely
one
loved
thing
it.
is, though, for me was his character was like felt kind of weak to me. He was literally my fourth favorite character in the movie because I liked Wenwu better. I liked the Shang-Chi sister way better than him, and I liked Aqua.
Yeah, she was pretty badass.
I liked Aqua and her character. She got a little obnoxious finally towards the end of the movie a little bit.
Right.
But I liked all of them better than him, which is maybe a problem with the movie is you should probably like the main hero the best. But
that would be the idea.
He's probably going to have other appearances where we can see more of the hero aspect of him. I think come out more.
I am interested
I just
to
wish
see.
we would have gotten more airtime with Death Dealer. I mean, Death Dealer is supposed to be the one that trained, Wenwu's army, trained Shang-Chi to be this weapon of mass destruction. And then he goes out within the first 15 seconds of the final bad guy. I'm like, really?
Yeah, they do that a lot.
Dude literally got killed by a freaking bat.
Yeah, they do that a lot, unfortunately.
To do fan casting here, do you think, I don't know, if they ever could do like as OG fan was saying here, he said for cigars and bacon responding, but I think Wenwu could be like, he did question about Sith Lord. Do you think if we could ever get like an Old Republic thing, it'd be maybe too expensive at this point, but we could like recast him Wenwu in as a like Sith Lord character, and we could get Donnie Yen actually as a Jedi, which is what like 90% of people wanted.
I want to see more of Chirrut, to be honest with you. I would love to see more of Chirrut.
But we could do like an Old Republic thing set 4,000 years ago and have them be recast, and then we could.
I don't see
them battle in a Jedi versus Sith Lord. Jedi versus Sith Lord.
Squid Game, he's going to be in
Acolyte. Yeah.
So I don't see why we couldn't get Tony Leung to be in that show either. Why not? I mean,
Bantha Boy.
The Acolyte. Man, guys, the Acolyte is being made by that one lady, right? Who worked for Harvey Weinstein for years.
Yeah.
And Kathleen Kennedy has a big hand.
Well,
in that particular show.
There's also talks that they might be getting rid of her, so hopefully that's the case.
Good.
Yeah, but that's been happening for years too.
Well, I mean, yeah, but Disney's making
Indiana Jones 5 might be the final stake in the heart.
Bantha Boy, I feel your pain because I've been waiting for the freaking exclusive Cyborg to go on coupon forever, and every time I scroll past the regular special edition, it makes me cry. I'm like, dude, stop! And Doc Brown Deluxe, he was on the coupon for like a day after he first dropped, and now he's back off the coupon. So Sasha's always playing games with these coupons, man. They're always playing games.
So I did actually on Facebook while we were talking here a little bit ago. So people are getting that he's probably going to be January to February now. At least that's what's
the Mark 1.
Yeah, here.
The Mark 1 just got moved earlier.
Mark 1 is December, January now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they sent emails out. I've been told that the Mark 1 is releasing next week.
That's cool.
Don't know if it's true or not. That's just what I've been told. But now that I got that email from Sideshow saying December to January is the new adjusted date, I'm like, maybe that's true. Will we get it in the U.S. then? Probably not. I would imagine that's probably just for Hong Kong. But still, I mean,
maybe so mid-January we might start having.
Right. That's what I would expect. But
hey, it could be already on the boat, and
that's true. It could be one of those like because they're obviously being more consistent with it, but obviously sometimes they're pre-planning this and they release it in tandem with Sideshow. So that would be nice. I mean, mine's still not paid off, but
yeah, my payment plan still didn't get adjusted. I mean, I'll wait till tomorrow.
It says 24 hours. I
would say mine still says February is the first payment to come out. So I'm assuming it's going to get bumped up to December or January.
Yeah.
Well, it depends too, because maybe if you didn't, they may only be getting a first batch of like one.
Yeah, I think I didn't pre-order. I didn't pre-order this like right away. I let it sit for a few months before I pre-ordered it.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter when you pre-order it. Really, it's we could do the first day. Like say, I could do day one
payment plan, so it comes later after it's released too.
Yeah.
So if you need to do that,
Like, say, all of us here could order the same item, and I could order day one. Connor can do it like a week later. Mr. Mom can order it 6 months later, or whatever. Lane can order it today, and there's a chance that Lane could get his before we get ours.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's all about the algorithm. And
The
who
batches
it
are
picks, 'cause
random.
it
Let's
picks
be
random.
real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's
algorithm picks
random.
people randomly.
So
Yeah.
here's a question to you guys.
Plenty of
Yeah,
times
he's
where
a
I,
thick one.
Where I
Yeah.
day one.
Yes, you did,
2
Matt.
minutes after the figure was announced, pre-ordered it, and people will still get it before me, just because
Yeah.
I know that. And that that's when
Well-
I knew it's just a random pick. It just picks randomly on who's going to get the first batch.
3,000
If you look
years
at the really hyped figures, though, that Sideshow gets in early, you can kind of tell when you meet someone and they're just new to collecting and they're getting their stuff before you, and you're kind of noticing, wait a minute, all the new collectors are getting this stuff and all the older collectors
Oh,
are
the exclusive
held
for pre-order?
behind.
I was about
too?
to say, let me sign out really quick because I want to see if that's just for my account because I was on the wait list at
I
one
was going to
point.
say, because I was on the wait
Yeah,
list
so
first, too.
it's just my account, I guess,
Okay.
because I had a wait list conversion, but I've already pre-ordered it, so I guess it's not a limit of one. I don't know.
Yeah. This guy, though, do you think maybe the hype for this one died down just because it was not so
Hell
long ago?
Hell no.
No.
The dude, only reason I say that, Lane, is because this is the Mark 1. And I don't know about you guys, but the film that really got me hooked into this
Iron Man?
MCU was
Iron
Iron
Man.
Man 1, dude.
Yeah.
Iron Man 1, that scene of him breaking out of the cave was just monumental.
The only thing that made it better was when I saw someone actually do re-edited the scene where they actually put in is it Black Sabbath was this the song with I Am Iron Man.
Yeah, that's
they
Black Sabbath.
Yeah, they actually when he first they edited that song actually to play during when he actually activates it and breaks out of the cave and starts blowing everything.
Also,
that thing was awesome with the Black Sabbath dub over it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Also, a very underrated villain, in my opinion, Obadiah Stane, Jeff Bridges. Dude, like I said before, if we get an Ironmonger, if we get an Ironmonger 2.0 in diecast, dude, that'll be we're talking about like a personal Grail figure. That's a personal Grail figure, and we're getting a little taste of it with the Mark III base, just a little taste of the Ironmonger. But, dude, if they do an Ironmonger 2.0,
6 months ago, it was announced a year and a half ago.
It's been a minute. Yeah, it's been a minute.
I mean, let's not. The only reason I was saying that with this is because let's remember, I was just saying because this was announced like the summer showcase the year before. It's been a long time since this figure was. I mean, originally they were even placing it much farther into next year. So I'm very happy it's coming out.
Yeah, I just think it's just such a monumental suit. I think that's why this is still in a lot of people's minds. Because when I listen to a lot of these other like content creators and YouTubers and such talking about Iron Man figures, this is the figure that always gets brought up that people say they're excited for. So I think yes, it's had some time to drag on and maybe some excitement is lost in that pre-order phase. But in terms of like anticipation,
I still think people are going to get it.
I think a lot of people are like really excited.
I just
to get
mean
this
from
figure.
the way I remember where everybody was like, "Oh my god!" Blah, blah, blah. And this just plays sometimes though into how long it takes for Hot Toys sometimes to get stuff out. Like Ahsoka Tano, the Clone Wars. Remember that was the one that like broke websites and stuff, and then now it's on.
I mean Rex too. Look, Cody sold out. Everybody's like Rex is going to be a Grail. I thought Rex was going to be a Grail, but then things changed.
Well, Sideshow did order 17,000.
Well, yeah, I don't expect that many of this guy just because of the price point for him.
Look at all the.
Well, I don't know because there's a lot more Marvel collectors than there are Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
especially overseas.
The USB power.
You guys are gonna. I know you. Yeah, and this was one of the first they actually had.
Waiting fiendishly. Yeah, this is where they kind of introduced us to gave us a taste of the USB.
That was a selling point for this figure. Like, guys, not only are we getting the Mark.
Oh, my baby. You guys know my baby. I had to have this, and I got it.
Well, that was the best. I've had my wait list converted like twice for this, but I didn't have.
Yeah, but you remember for a while they were converting all the other ones, but the Mark 1. I'm like, come on, dude, just give me the Mark 1. I regretted not pre-ordering this day one so much because I told you This almost got me for Marvel. This almost got me, and Penn knows because I was in the Discord talking about it at the time. This almost got me, and I was like, you know what? I can't do it. I can't do it. But now I've expanded my collection. I've got room for it, and I was like, you know what? When I saw No Way Home, I'm like, it's time. But dude, I was so close. I was so close. I had my finger on the button. Legitimately, I had my finger on the button. But now it's coming home, baby.
Well, you guys are gonna laugh at me for what I'm gonna tell you now. Because I've been looking at Iron Man. You know, I collect some Iron Man here and there.
I'll try not to.
Like huge. Well, because I got a bunch of points, and this I've been, going to use discount code and stuff, but I finally came to like kind of reviewing what figures I'm gonna do. I've been planning to use like a ton of points on a higher end hot toy. You've heard me mention it. Originally, I kind of looked at Mark 1, but I decided to actually do the Silver Centurion armor up.
I mean,
the reason I'm doing, and I know of the armor up, people might be going, "Why?" Are
I
you
wouldn't say I would laugh at you because there's a lot of people that are really excited for that Silver Centurion.
See, that's the thing is, if it was like the regular figure that was die cast, I'd be like, get the Mark 1. But because it's a suit up and it's unique.
Well, that's why I'm getting it is because
you got that. That's where it makes it different.
I'm kind of getting, because I'm only getting a few figures. So like I've got my War Machine. You guys have seen. I have the Rescue. I have the Iron Patriot. Endgame. So I've got all one of the each. Now, will I probably get more of like, am I going to just get one Tony Stark Iron Man suit? Probably not. I probably would get like a Mark 7 or Mark 6 or something like that as well. The early suits, because that's what I like. I don't really like the Mark 50
I'm right there with you. I like the newer suits, but the original bulky suits are just
1 through 7. 1 through 7.
But like for that, why I'm not necessarily considering this so much is I'm getting the Mark 3, and that's to me that's what I think of with the Iron Man a lot more than this.
Can you believe it? Can you believe that we can get the Mark 1 and the Mark 3 and the Mark 5 all at the same time? Would you ever have thought that?
Yeah, and there's art. Well, I mean, look at it this way too. You have available in a similar price point. You can get an armor up version of Mark 5 with the Tony Stark in the actual racing suit with a transformable version of his
and that's a beautiful set. It's a beautiful set.
So you have that as an option, which is like an entirely new version of
and another Mark 5. We're eventually going to get that exclusive one probably with the crappy base.
And you have the also at the same time, you can get. I mean, eventually here soon, you should be able to get the Mech Test Tony Stark, so you can get whichever version you want to get.
A lot of great options right now.
And also the diorama of the
Mark 46 is still on pre-order.
We really have to get. I think we have to get a Mark 6.
This might be saying how there's too many Iron Man.
The Mark 6 is right now. The Mark 6 is next for sure.
I would love that.
After the Mark 3, I'm certain we're going to get a Mark 2.
Yeah. Mark 2's. Yeah, I mean they're going to reissue both of them. I mean, you know how it is, but
I want to get like the reason I'm doing. Not the Mark 5, but I decided to do so. Like, I'm not going to say Silver Centurion is like my favorite suit or anything like that. But the fact I want one armor up, however many they end up doing in this line, I want one armor up version of Iron Man to have, like to be my one of that line or style or whatever. But the reason I was thinking the Silver Centurion over the Mark 5 is because it's the way it's designed is pretty much a single Iron Man figure that just is exposing more of like the parts and everything.
The inner workings of the armor.
Yeah. Plus it's USB and it lights up. I mean, the flip side could look not great without being lit up. So that might be the one. Like kind of like the Miles Morales 2020 suit. When you compare it to seeing it lit up versus not.
Some figures are better than others in that regard. Where like if it's not lit up, it kind of hurts the look.
Yeah, and I had some hesitation because that was literally like the most expensive Iron Man figure there was at $485. So I mean, you're kind of like, do I want to spend that much on a suit that mostly was just known from the house party
attacks? That's right. That's from that scene.
When they did the end of 3 fighting all the extreme
where it got
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I like that. Just whatever reason, seeing the inner workings parts of that. To me, just look really cool. But
it is, and it's like a feet of engineering.
Would I spend $500 on it? Hell no. Like not that cool looking to me, but I'm gonna use a ton of points and try and get it for like $285.
Yeah. All right. Who's ready?
Boromir. Oh boy.
So I'm not. I know who the actor is, Sean Bean.
Yeah.
I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan. You guys know this. How
King
bad
of
is
Dying.
this? How bad is this?
Terrible.
It's funny is because that Gandalf the white head sculpt actually turned out pretty good.
Right. It looks
And
great.
So that created.
And this is a reissue, right? Like this is like a 2.0 essentially. Because I heard the original
honestly,
was really bad.
Yeah, honestly, you probably want to talk to Optical 20. Like he's collected a lot of Asmus figures and stuff like that.
Right. So I don't know what the character looks like in the movie because I haven't really seen much of Lord of the Rings.
But
Sean Bean, I don't see Sean Bean here.
The goatee is about the only thing I can say that looks like Sean Bean there.
Yeah, I don't see him at all.
It's just like this is what Asmus does a lot of times with their Lord of the Rings, their history. They had one step up that looks like they stepped up their game a little bit with just the production on the Gandalf the White with the Shadowfax and everything, which is a pretty amazing figure. And then they put this out.
So let's. This is about the only photo I can find that at all resembles.
Yeah, it doesn't look like him.
It at all resembles it, but all the other ones, his chin looks way sharper. Like this is bad. And like you said, Asmus has been improving. I mean, those zombie figures that they're doing look incredible. Honestly, everybody shits on the Ash Williams. I like the Ash Williams figure. It wasn't perfect. It has some issues, but I like it. Well, I didn't have too many like terrible issues, to be honest with you, with the Ash Williams figure. I could tell you the most unacceptable thing with the Ash Williams figure for me, a lot of people didn't even mention, and that's that when you put the chainsaw arm on, it shreds up the actual arm itself. Like a lot of people didn't mention that, and that was my biggest issue. I'm like, how are you going to make a chainsaw arm that shreds up? And I reached out to Asmus and asked them, and they're like, that's normal. That's just the part of the design. I'm like, nice. So
that's not the right answer.
Yeah, it's not the right answer at all. But like that's the answer they gave me. They said that that's a flaw. That they basically said that's normal. But it's an inherent flaw with the design of the figure. But I will say they did make a lot of changes from the original bomb where they tried to release like total garbage where the Henrietta wasn't haired. She was painted incorrectly. They did fix a lot of that stuff. And I do think ever since then, they've kind of learned from that. Obviously with this one, the sculpt is what it is. It's a bad likeness, but the overall figure I think looks good. I don't know about accuracy because again, I'm not big into Lord of the Rings, but the outfit looks well tailored. I like the weathering, the dirt and stuff. The fur looks good. The head sculpt is very puzzling, though, because like you said, Lane, that Gandalf the White is beautiful. I mean, I think a lot of people were kind of caught off guard by that one because that likeness, I think, to me, when I look at the character, I think that likeness is better than the in-art one. I hate to say it, but I truly do.
Yeah. The only thing that was really bad on that figure was the boots.
Yeah,
like the boots
I saw some people saying that. Almost looks like
it does actually kind of look like it. But
But then you look at the price and you're like, for $208, if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, you're trying to army build and save money. Like,
well, even the body and stuff apparently did not come out well. They put out a Nazgul like 2.0.
That one has die cast and stuff, right?
Some of the weapons and stuff, yeah. And apparently the body for that one is not supposed to be very good.
Yeah. We'll see. Once I start hearing people getting that figure in hand, I'm curious to see what they say because I haven't heard anything much about it apart from people complaining about the likeness. And again, just going off of the fact that I know what Sean Bean looks like, I don't think that looks at all like Sean Bean.
No.
Now, if you want to talk about a figure that is really good, and I'm very impressed by it, especially for the price, this figure is beautiful. For those that thought 3-0 was done with the Walking Dead stuff, guess again, and with Game of Thrones too.
This is a home run.
Bro, I keep telling you I got to get on my Walking Dead game, so I'm excited for this figure.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the better sculpts that 3-0 has done in a while. I will confidently say that. And I do collect 3-0 stuff. I have some of the Game of Thrones stuff. I have 2 of the Stranger Things figures with a 3rd one on the way. My Dustin Henderson just shipped. But dude, I don't collect the Walking Dead stuff. I did watch the show up to season 7, then I kind of gave up on it then, like many other people. But with that being said, this figure is beautiful. I think they did a great job. I think the sculpt is really, really well done. I think the tailoring looks pretty incredible, and I love that he includes this, I'm assuming pleather, but leather-like jacket. And he also comes with the katana. If you guys have seen The Walking Dead, you already know what he does with that katana. Poor Herschel, a fan favorite character. I loved that character. And for him to disrespect us like that and put Herschel down right in front of his daughters with a katana, man, with Michonne's katana at that. How disrespectful was that? That was a sad scene, man. The Walking Dead is one of those shows that has a lot of like shocking moments. It really does.
I swear Maggie got it pretty bad, dude, through her family and like
right, she had to watch her sister get bit or not. No, her sister didn't get bit. Her sister got shot. Yeah, that's right. Her sister got shot. Her husband got his head bashed in with a baseball bat in front of everybody, and they couldn't do anything about it. So. And that's another figure, the Maggie Ree figure is beautiful. I think they did a great job, but their Walking Dead line for the most part has been pretty solid from what I've seen. But guys, I mean, if we're going to talk about pricing, you got to give it to 3-0. Their figures aren't always perfect. They do have some figures that are better than others, but for $189, I think this is a very, very fair price. I really do. I think they are definitely the more competitive company when it comes to pricing. Even the Game of Thrones figures. I mean, we could take a quick look at a figure that I'm excited for Sandor Clegane over here, $199. I mean, you guys know the Hound is a big guy. He's a tall dude. This is a big figure. It's a big body. For $199, and you get the Dragon Glass axe. You get the cloak. You get multiple weapons. Like, I got to give it to the 3-0. I think their pricing is very fair. Zombie, get out of here with a spoiler alert. That happened so long ago. I'm not preserved. That was what season 4 Herschel died? I think it was season 4. Season 4 or 5. It had to be 4.
No, it was 3. I think it was 3.
Season 3.
I think it was 3.
So that was long ago. That was years ago.
That's
so
like when they were.
That's right, because they were
before the prison.
That was
season
at
2.
the prison.
No, wait, that was at the prison.
No, that was season 4.
Season 2 was Herschel's farm.
So it was season 4. Okay.
Season 3 was the prison, and it was at the season finale of 3.
Yeah. Okay. So
was it the season finale or the beginning of season 4?
No, it was at the end, because at the very end they had that big shootout and everything like that. And the governor, it was a big. It was at the end.
Up and,
It was. Let's see.
I only know because I have an autographed poster.
No, it was the mid-season finale of the 4th season.
Mid-season. There you go. All right.
Of the 4th season.
It was the 4th season. So
okay.
I'm surprised I remembered that because, like I said, I stopped watching The Walking Dead right at season 7.
I'm surprised you made it that far.
Hey, I've watched all of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of lost interest. I did enjoy it while it lasted, though. I thought it was a great show. Kaiju says 3-0 is an excellent value between their Transformers and one. Yeah, I've heard the Transformers figures are incredible. And I got to be honest with you, I'm really excited for this new Transformers film only because that like gorilla Transformer, I don't know his name.
Optimus
Primal. He looks super cool, dude. Because I'm not like, I enjoy Transformers, but I'm not like one of those dudes that knows any, like, Star Wars and Marvel, I'm real into that. But Harry Potter, I don't know much about Transformers.
Yeah, the Transformers, the thing I've seen, at least like statue-wise, figure-wise or something, the DLX line has been really, really good that 3-0 has been doing. Like they have the Prime coming from last night and stuff. But that in the statue realm and stuff, like Prime One and stuff, they've done really excellent like Bayverse ones and stuff, like Shockwave, which is freaking massive. He's like 43 inches tall. He weighs like 90 pounds.
Well, see, I have
the bases, the big snake pillar thing, that was part of him.
Right.
Like that actually cycles around and makes part of the base up that he's standing on and everything.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that is cool.
The only things I'm as big as him is Jet Prime, Optimus Prime with Jetfire. They're so massive and heavy and expensive. But
I have the Prime 1, Generation 1 Optimus, and Generation 1 Megatron, and those are pretty heavy and they're big.
Yeah. Because they're putting out. There's been one statue of that thing that I'm not a big I like some of the I don't like how they transfer. Yeah. But I like they're putting out a Megatron, which is actually from 2 years ago, was supposed to be a special, like their 8th anniversary special. And it's from 2 years ago. They originally put it up for pre-order. So that's the one thing we complain about Hot Toys. You know, Prime One likes to say sometimes hold my beer when it comes to waiting for stuff.
But here's the thing, like Hot Toys is, like Sean said last stream, Hot Toys is like a record release amount for them. So it's like we got to give them credit, you know. They're really pushing stuff out. But speaking of pushing stuff out,
yeah, geez.
Speaking of pushing stuff out, I've also been told, and I'm sure others have heard this as well on Facebook, that the DeLorean is going to be coming before the end of the year. So not sure if I'm excited about that or worried, because Ryan and I have talked about the wheels. I don't think they're going to have enough time to fix those wheels. I really don't. I think we're going to get what we see here. And hey, if we do, I will be satisfied. But will I be a little disappointed they didn't fix it? Yeah, but I'm preparing myself for exactly what we see here. That way I won't be disappointed, because those are my expectations, you know. But
yeah, well, all I can say is just be glad you're not buying 5 Light, Nate.
You know, this is my thing when I pre-order, is I don't want it to be worse than what I've ordered.
Right. As long as it's what you see in the photos, that's what you expected, you know?
Yeah. Like if there's anything improvement, am I going to complain about it? Hell no.
Right. But if they fix the wheels, we'll be over the moon. But if they don't, I'm like, I knew what I was buying because it was in the photos, you know?
Yeah. Like I was thinking about buying the Winter Soldier from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then it came out and it was just like, no, that's worse.
Yeah, I'm still going to get it, but I've seen it sell many times for like $130. So I'm like, at that price, it's worth it to me. But yeah, at full price, you know how mad I would have been if I got that figure at full price? I would have been very disappointed, because I don't think it looks terrible. I really don't. I still don't think it looks terrible. It's just at full price, when that figure's selling for 130, 140, 150 bucks on average, I would have been a little upset. But yeah, guys, so keep an eye out for this DeLorean. I think this last week before the Chinese New Year could be pretty crazy with releases. I mean, if everything that it's being rumored actually ends up happening, if we get the announcement of Mace Windu and the Super Battle Droid, if we get a release for this guy, a release for the Mark I, it's going to be crazy. And I wouldn't be surprised, because Hot Toys, it would make sense that they want to get this stuff out of the way before the Chinese New Year, because obviously that's when they take a break.
And the Chinese New Year is actually earlier this year. It's earlier. So I think I agree with you. I think you're going to see some massive announcements and one or two big pushes before, because they know they're going to be on an earlier break, so they're going to end early.
Right, you earned it, guys. Here you go. Got all this stuff out of the way.
Yep.
Well, I mean, if you guys look at historically, for the first 4 months of every year, they've never released more than 12. In January, February, March, and April. Like last year, they only did 11. This year, however, during that time frame, you know, we had 12, but that's it. You know, every year before that, it's always been around 11. So the most they've ever done is 12 in January, February, March, and April. So we're going to go through a decline and all this stuff. So a lot of people are complaining, oh, I got to get out, because it's like, no, we have so much stuff from Q4 of 2022 that's going to be pushed into 2023. And we've already started. I posted a thing showing all the delays that just went into 2024 already, and there's tons more for them to go do that.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting for sure. It's going to be interesting. Guys, keep an eye on your accounts. Keep an eye on your emails. Adjust where you need to. I know a lot of people are spending money right now like crazy because it's Christmas time. So just be smart with it. It's going to get a little overwhelming, but then we're going to finally get our break. The break that you thought you never wanted, but you're going to be happy for it. Once they go on Chinese New Year, that's the break we actually need, you know?
That's where people are going to be complaining, like, when are we going to get a release?
Oh, they will. They will. They do it every time. Well, it's been 2 weeks since well, you got your break. That's the break that we needed. But that about wraps it up, guys. And as we're starting to wrap up here, our boy Carlito in the chat, I'll read your comment here in a second. But guys, we're almost at 50 likes. If you haven't already, please consider dropping a like on this stream. Also, if you aren't subscribed, please consider doing so. Right now, we have a goal of 750. I can't believe they were even at 540 before the end of the year. I'm blown away, guys. I truly am. I'm very grateful. I'm very humble, and I'm very happy, you know, to be where we are. So a lot of you guys have hung out with us here for the whole stream, so I appreciate you. It's a 3-hour stream. We haven't done that in a while, but it's a lot of information. And as you guys could see, we have a lot of passion about this Attack of the Clones stuff, especially, and Batman. A lot of Batman talk tonight. So When you get passionate about stuff, you get
Batman.
talking. A lot of Batman. Let's read this comment.
Too.
Yeah, a lot of Spider-Man, a lot of everything. Let's read this comment here from our boy Carlito. Carlito says, with Hot Toys, for better or for worse, we pretty much get at minimum what we see in the prototype pictures. As far as the DeLorean goes, I think we get exactly what we've seen in the promo pics. I would agree with you. After seeing Doc Brown, Ryan and I kind of said this on the last stream. I don't expect that we're going to get a beauty makeover overnight of the DeLorean. I think we're going to get exactly what we were presented. And I'm not going to be angry about that. As long as we get exactly what we're presented, I knew what I was buying into, you know, and that's really how you have to look at things. You can't
yeah.
I was going to say
you can't complain about it.
Right, exactly. You can't pre-order with the expectation that they better fix this. No, you pre-order with the expectation that you're going to get what you were presented, you know. Obviously, if like a head sculpt or something declines, that's when we can get angry and be like, what the hell went wrong here? Or like Ryan was saying earlier with the Batman Begins, we're like, what the hell went wrong with this cape? What, you know, like those are valid concerns. Those are valid issues, you know. Good night, Ty. As always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all the support on all the social media platforms. Also, guys, if you're in the Facebook group, I will be running the giveaway this weekend. Again, I really do apologize. I'm a little behind on that, but hey, better late than never, you know. But that about wraps it up, guys. So I'm doing the $25 giveaways in the Facebook group. Every 100 subscribers and 100 members in the Facebook group. So we've only met that one time because we're only at about 145, 100, something like that in the Facebook group. So guys, if you aren't in the Facebook group, definitely hop on over there. We'll be doing giveaways whenever new announcements are posted. Either me or Sean or Ryan or Matt is always posting information. Who else is in there? Kevin is always posting stuff. So definitely keep an eye out for that, because if you want all of the information all in one place,
Clone Trooper
it's
just
all in there.
listed.
Well, guess who pre-ordered while on stream? Me and a lot of other people. Who in the chat said they dropped 3? Who dropped 3 in the chat while we were here? Who dropped 3?
Kelly just said it just waitlisted.
Aren't you glad that I cut off what we were talking about to pull that up? Congratulations if you got your pre-order in. But like Cigar said also, some of you guys have alternate websites. So now's your time to run over to those websites and take a look before anyone else hears about this, because there aren't that many people streaming right now. So
hey, Cigars, what's your alternate?
Sites A through Z.
Right. Hey, if it was me, I wouldn't say it either, but that's just being a smart collector. But
I keep my website
right.
Hush hush.
Unless, yeah, it's all being a smart collector. But yeah, guys, that's what we're talking about. You got to pay attention to this stuff. We're not telling you to go and grab it. We're not trying to influence you, but we give you the information. What you do with that information is your choice. And I'm glad that quite a few people in the chat dropped their pre-orders, and I'm glad that I dropped my pre-order while I was talking to you guys in the background. We have our friend OG, as always, dropping the links. Of course, the links are in the description as well. I think I once again forgot to put the link to Ryan's channel because I just copy and paste. So if you could put a link, OG, to Mr. Mom Collectibles. We have a link to Collecting Madness as well. Also, there's a link in the description for that. Cigars and Bacon. Yes, you can find Cigars and Bacon always over on Geeking Out. Cigars is a regular panel member there, as he has always been. And also, he's become a regular panel member here. So you know where to find him if you want to get his opinion and his take on things. Yes, again, if talking about the legendary Lane, you have to check out that Collecting Weekly video of Lane. It's very entertaining to see the inner workings of Lane's collecting hut. So if you haven't watched it yet, you have to check it out. Lane said he almost forgot about it. I sure didn't. Thanos is back on Last Chance. Looks like we'll have to take a quick look, guys, before we dip out of here.
No, if you actually open it up, if you click on the Clone Trooper, it says join waitlist.
Let's see.
You have to actually.
Oh, yeah. So the endgame Thanos is back, just the standard endgame Thanos. Let me filter by Hot Toys, and I'll pull it up real quick before we head out. No, yeah, the Clone Trooper is gone, guys. Matt, the Clone Trooper is indeed gone, and I'm pulling it up.
But not forgotten.
Not forgotten, because we just mentioned it, guys. We told y'all. But here it is. Look.
That is kind of funny that the Trooper actually sold out before the pilot, which I figured was going to be the thing.
And you know why I think that is? Because once again, it's an army builder and it's a customizer's dream. You know, it's a white slate. You don't have to like sand down a 501st Trooper. It's a cheaper buy-in. So it's definitely not super surprising, but I'm glad that some of you guys were able to get your pre-orders in. Definitely hop on that wait list. You will get some conversions. We've already seen the others convert, but hop on that wait list now. Again, a lot of people probably don't know about it yet. I'm sure somebody in here has now posted it on Facebook, so that's when everybody starts rushing towards it. But yeah, guys, once again, you guys all have all the links to everybody's channels. Definitely check them out. Of course, as always, we'll do our rounds here at the end. Me, guys, you guys know what I have going on. I'm definitely well on my way to finishing up my little project here in the collection room. I apologize that I haven't been putting any substantial content out. I think for now, I am going to film some videos that I have planned that I could do directly from my computer, some like collecting tips and such like that. I won't spoil it, but I have some ideas on stuff I could do from my computer as opposed to doing any sort of reviews in the light box or anything, just because I've got stuff going on in here that I don't have the room for the light box at the moment. But so I'm going to be posting some videos here soon. Also, Ryan and I, hopefully we'll be able to get these collab videos that we have planned.
Yeah, we have to wait till definitely the first week of January. Maybe you know what? Maybe the week of Chinese New Year.
Right, when we actually have a break from an
Yeah,
Ryan and I are going to film some collab videos, guys. Let's just say that they'll be basically where some parts are on my channel, some parts are on his. So keep an eye out for that. Obviously, you guys know Ryan had mentioned earlier he's going to be doing a review on the Batman figure that he showed off earlier today to kind of give his perspective more in depth. Because obviously, when we show off on stream, we're just kind of briefly sharing our opinions and not going in depth with everything. And you get much better lighting and such in a professionally done review. So I imagine that's probably your main thing you have going on right now, Ryan. And of course, Ryan as well. We got 3 people, guys, on the panel that are redoing their collection rooms. We don't play around here on Hot Toys Hotline. We're real collectors. We expand our collection.
Adapt.
Right. We do what we need to do because we're buying all this stuff. So you see me, I've got the new shelves. Ryan's got the new shelves. Chris has got the new shelves. Chris actually has my old shelves. So it's like I'm seeing an old friend again, except I'll never see him again until I go over to Chris's house because they're not mine anymore. But it's like it's 9 old friends. All 9 of my details are gone.
From 2 to 11 now, so I got plenty of space.
Right. So now Chris has an army of detolfs, and I have a small army of these large garage shelves. So it's been a fun process. Nate just posted it. Yeah. So looks like Nate was a little late, but hopefully everybody who was here that was considering grabbing them was able to get your pre-order in. Otherwise, again, hop on the wait list. It's not the end of the world. You'll be able to get it to convert eventually. Adapt, improvise. Yes, I love that. That's perfect. That's what you got to do, especially with these vehicles. You know, say what you want about our man Denobi. He's a little extreme sometimes, but he says some things that definitely have some truth to him. And when he's talking about you have to have the space for these vehicles, like you don't know how much space you really need until you get your first one in hand. So everybody who's grabbing these vehicles, you got to be prepared to make adjustments where it's needed, you know? So, of course, as always, Lane and CMB, thank you so much for being here. It's always an absolute pleasure. Chris,
thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Chris, and I know you've kind of got a lot going on like I do. I don't know if you have any videos planned amongst the chaos. Maybe not, because it's very stressful and a lot of stuff to do, but
I actually managed to film the Return of the Jedi loop finally.
Oh, that's
it's
right.
Edited.
Yeah.
I uploaded it, so literally after I get done here, I'm gonna do the thumbnail, and then it should be live.
You'll
on
release
the
it.
channel.
Nice. So there you go. Go over to Collecting Madness. Show him some love on the Return of the Jedi Luke unboxing. I know he's been waiting for that one for a long time, and his brother gave him a really solid deal on it, so I'm really happy for him. So definitely check that out. Sean, I know you always got something going on. What's going on over on the Hot Toys Nightmare?
So I did get Bo-Katan. I got the
Nice
comic concept deluxe Iron Man.
That's a nice one. I really like that figure a lot.
I'm trying to think of what else did I recently get. I can't
30
remember.
Hot Toys in boxes.
Right. Hey, Sean and we already roasted Sean tonight. I'm gonna give him a break.
No, it's
give him
okay.
a break.
So what Ryan's referring to is all the boxes that I still don't have open yet.
Eddie Rodriguez, my friend, my fellow Crow lover. Don't think I forgot. Thank you so much for being here. It's all right. So, hey, sometimes I do that too. Or hey, other times I have my ability to comment ripped from me on YouTube. My account's like bugged out, and most of the streams I go in, like Nate's stream, I can't comment. I comment and my comment just disappears. So that's okay.
Yeah.
You have a good night as well.
So we were talking about my boxes and everything the other night, and how just like all of a sudden I kind of realized when I go sit up in my living room and watch TV with my kids, I need to hop on my Chromebook. I have a Hot Toys box underneath the table next to my couch, and I grab it, and I've been doing this for like a year, right? And one night I kind of realized that there's like when I open up a Hot Toys box with the brown shipper, I fold it up on top because I put this stuff in my garage.
Right.
At that point. And I'm just kind of, for some reason, like I'm feeling the sides. It's like, there's no fold on this. And then I just didn't think about it the rest of the night. And the next day I'm down here working and it like popped in my head. And for some reason I couldn't get it out of my mind. And I went up there and looked, and it was actually a 501st Deluxe. I didn't even realize that I owned.
Can you imagine?
Still in the box.
Oh my god!
I made a joke to Sean. I'm like, oh, what is that? Is this just my Yondu I'm using as a door stopper? Like, that's crazy, man. But hey,
I
I'm
don't
sure.
even know what figure it is, man. Tell you the truth, I got so many damn boxes.
Right. That's
Well,
funny.
I did have that pile in my room when I was building all the Billy bookcases and everything. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 11 things that are still in brown boxes that I haven't opened yet. But I went down from 28 to 11.
Yeah, it's a slow process. We're getting them there. Eclectic, if that is shipped out the door, $245 I think is very fair for a newly released figure.
I agree.
Obviously, you may be able to coupon it on Sideshow, but if you're like, I want that figure now, I think $245 is fair. If that's out the door, if that's before shipping, obviously that's $5 less than Sideshow, but I would imagine that's out the door. You have a great night as well, Peyton. But yeah, so lesson learned, guys. When you buy figures, try to open them up. And to be honest with you, I mean, I can't really talk because I had the Anakin, the Anakin and the Stap. I had the Stap in the box forever because I didn't have room because of my detolf. So I had it in the box for a little bit. Sometimes it just happens. And also, before we moved into this new house, I didn't have a lot of room for a lot of my figures, so a lot of them sat in boxes for a while. But that's all, guys. That's all we got for you tonight. As always, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't liked already, we're 6 away from 50. Drop a like on their way out. Insane One didn't make it to this stream, but in the spirit of Insane One, you got to help him out with his tapeworm and drop a like on this video. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you doing? Listen to Insane One. Help the man out with his tapeworm. But yeah, you guys have a great night. Have a great weekend. A very exciting time. Christmas is right around the corner. If you guys haven't bought your gifts yet, what are you doing? You're getting to the last minute here, guys. I got to give you this reminder every week. Get your gifts. Get them out of the way. Online shopping is way too easy now. You got to get your gifts now out of the way. I actually have most of mine now, I'm happy to say. My girlfriend's done. Her sister, I got stuff for her. So I got a few more things to get, but I got most of my stuff out of the way. I'm still waiting to hear back about the speeders that we were promised by Lane. I'm not too sure what's going on with that, but I'll give them a break because it's the holidays. Maybe eventually we'll hear back about those.
Is very common in this channel.
Yeah,
you know what's funny is I bet what's going to happen is Lane's going to pull a,
maybe like a Secret Santa type thing.
No, he's going to pull a miracle. We're like, once we get to the point where we're actually angry that Hot Toys aren't releasing, that's when he's going to send us this.
Right. Kind of like to cheer us up.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right.
Yeah. He's going to be the spring Santa we didn't want, but we're going to get.
I think you're right. I think you're right. This is going to happen, but yeah, we're of course only joking, guys.
You walked and like banged your head into a door or something.
Don't ask Lane for any speeders or anything because he's not going to give them to you. But maybe one day we'll get them, or maybe one day Lane will grow
but that's
a beard.
the thing, though. He's telling that's true. He's not going to give us speeders. He's getting us swoop bikes, completely different.
Completely different.
Yep,
that's true. The swoop bikes are like $285, very fair price. I feel like he could swing it.
And everybody, thanks for joining.
All right, guys. Yes,
this week,
guys. But realistically, yes.
Next Thursday,
I've got some figures waiting for me downstairs, so I got to open those. What am I doing here? It's Hot Toys time. But have a great night, everybody. Once again, thank you so much for being here. We will see you next week, as always. Let me see. Let me check my calendar here real quick. Yeah, we're good. We're not going to miss any streams. We're good. Okay, I just wanted to make sure how Christmas and Christmas Eve and everything lined up. We're good. So as far as I know, guys, we're good to go for the rest of the year. But enjoy your weekend. Don't do anything stupid. Keep an eye out on those Attack of the Clones figures now.
Totally stupid.
Right. Don't do as we say, not as we do, because we're pretty stupid.
Hot Toys.
We're pretty stupid. We're pretty stupid with that too. We spend too much money, but All right, guys, have a great night. And once again, thank you so much for being here.
Bye.